us in, man. I'm pour me a little alcohol.
Yeah, man. Welcome back. This is the Anxiety Issues Podcast. I am your host, one half of the show, Adam 12 Taylor, here with my brother Boneface of Boneface Inc. Yeah. And I am tired as shit today.
Man, I don't know why, bro. My energy's so fucking low. I'm tired as fuck. I don't know what it is. I think it's the time change, bro, but this shit weird.
Listen, midnight at 5 o'clock now. Man, I don't know if y'all knew that.
I let my I had a birthday party for my son.
I saw that,
I'm like, bro, I'm finna fucking go home. I'm tired. Bro, I got home, it was 10:30, brother. I'm beat.
Tired.
Beat, bro. I thought I was getting out of there late.
I'm telling you, brother.
Shit stupid.
9:30 the new midnight. Boy, you better get your ass in the house.
That shit dumb.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming back. You low key like the little Angela Yee right now, like.
Man, I'm telling you.
Other podcasts, like.
She ain't get to be Angela shit last podcast.
No.
Your young ass don't know shit.
Yeah, it was ham and slam. Fuck the bottom.
Weak ass 10 years.
All day, by myself, 25 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I just probably thought she was somebody till old girl came here and showed off. Yeah. She ain't no fucking body. She's just a young whippersnapper.
Shout out to
Cat ain't got no miles on it.
No, not at all. That girl say, I've been fucking for 25 years. You don't know nothing about nothing.
That was the most chaotic show we've ever had, brother. We never lost the handle of a show, bro. That was
no, not at all.
But it was I enjoyed it.
It was very fun, very entertaining. I like things to be a little bit I like the jokes. I'm a jokester. But I do like things to be a little bit informative, so I was trying to go in depth on certain things, but it still turned out entertaining. It was funny to watch. I enjoyed watching it.
It was a great episode. It was chaos, but it was great.
I definitely enjoyed watching it back, man.
And it wasn't controlled chaos per usual, but it was just chaos. But it was good.
Yeah.
I had a good time.
Absolutely, man.
We get one. Everybody get one.
Nah, I don't even think it was a bad episode. So it even like we got one. I think that's sometimes people want to see. Chaos. They want to see people go rally monkey. Like, this is how I feel. This is what I'm standing on. People like to see a little bit of an argument. You know what I mean? So it didn't turn out bad at all.
No, I enjoyed every fucking second of it. I'm just saying that for the people who come, because a lot of people watch us because we're informative, and some people watch us because we're funny. So for the people that watch us because we're solely for the information, it wasn't much information for you at that time. Other than she been fucking for 25 years and Tennille don't know shit. Right? That was the info.
So you better get it together. You better learn how to play with that clip, apparently.
Oh, my God.
I finally found a mix that worked, brother. This is delicious.
What you got?
This, Red Bull, and the liquor.
And
I ain't fuck with that blueberry.
That's made in town right there, too, man. I can't pronounce that. What is that? Spirit
the crew.
Oh, man, you Latina.
No.
We want her to be
so bad. I should have told her to lie. That could have brought us some followers. Like, be Latina. Man,
until it's time to speak some Spanish.
Now we'll get it there. We'll be practicing on that. Yeah.
That would come out. They're gonna be like, oh, what's she?
Like, nigga, I don't speak that.
So I'm hearing that you got a new single you working on, man.
Man, listen, man. I'm gonna take it back to the '60s and bless my white queens. With a single, man. I'm debating on White Queen or Pink Water.
It gotta be Pink Water.
You like Pink Water?
Pink Water is just that's a t-shirt.
It is though.
That's a shirt. That's a brand.
You can have pink bottles, water.
Man, you know what I see? I picture like this diamond, but it's like a pink diamond that you can kind of see through. It look white, but when you kind of turn it at different angles, you see the pink in there. Like Pink Water, yeah.
I fuck with it. That might be the go-to.
Black t-shirt with like a little pink diamond on it. Pink Water.
And I was just riding around in my car. That's how I write most of my music, though. Just like, I riding around in the car, like, and I either listen to podcasts or just random beats and stuff like that. So I had a conversation with my homie, weeks ago, and he was just talking about how, sometimes you might be dealing with an interracial situation. Like, you might be sleeping with a woman who's Caucasian, you know what I mean? But she might have a big misunderstanding on black issues and things like that. So you kind of in a love-hate situation where it's like, man, I love fucking you. But damn, you don't understand shit about me, and I'm tired of you telling me about
sick of it. Like, just let's stop talking about anything other than fucking.
For real.
Yeah, let's not talk about black issues.
So,
and for white women, I want y'all to understand, just because y'all like black dick doesn't mean you can't be subconsciously racist. Just because you have mixed babies don't mean you can't be subconsciously racist.
Yes.
Most people who are racist are subconsciously racist. That's why the first thing they reach for is, I'm not racist.
Right.
Because, and I'm just like, no, racist is not always I hate niggas. It's a mindset. It's the way you see the world. It's the way you think. It's the way how you can't empathize or see me in a certain light because of your own, you feel me? Like, we not the same. And that's one thing that most white people go wrong with when they have a conversation with a black person. Just listen to me, brother, because you're not going to understand. I don't expect you to understand. So just stop acting like it's the same for you.
Yeah.
If I tell you a story about how I got pulled over by the cops and how it went left, your left ain't the same as my left.
Right.
You feel me? Understand that there are differences and there are things we experience that you will never understand, just like there are things that you experience that we will never understand.
Right.
So,
but there's things about our culture that they don't understand because they choose, everybody looks for confirmation bias. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So there are things that they can never understand, and what they do is they turn to the one black person that they could find, the one black woman that they could find that sides with them, and that's justification for all of their feelings. You get what I'm saying? Which they don't even understand the dynamics of sometimes of our culture. Like, there are black people who don't identify with us in our own culture.
Absolutely.
And those are the ones who typically, or black men, black women, who are not quote unquote down. They're not urban. They don't fit in, and they typically drift over to the white culture. They embrace.
And white people take their blacks. They take their black ideals from these people who don't even understand black culture.
Exactly.
That's how you get the movie with the guy with the do rag on, with the back flap down, with the one pant leg up. Malibu's most wanted ass black dude. Like, bro, that ain't us. And I will say this too, though, and some people are innocent in that, from that standpoint, like you say, to where they just don't get it. And some people have selective comprehension to where they understand when they want to understand and when they don't. Just like the lady told LeBron to shut up and dribble. But when Drew Brees had something to say, he was an American. He has the right to have an opinion. That's selective comprehension, and that's on purpose. You feel me? I'm not trying to see you or hear you because I don't want to.
Facts.
It's not that I don't understand.
So like, so okay, there's this gap right now too, though. I teach also, and we have to take sometimes learning how to teach generational divides because I teach adults. So you could have a 60-year-old and a 19-year-old, and they do not comprehend things the same.
Right.
I have found that some of the Gen Zers who are really young, the things like what we were just describing, those are all cultural things that we look at as cultural attributes to being black. And they see it as more of a trend because rappers have pretty much sold their soul and allowed to make things that are those private cultural attributes as gimmicks to sell themselves to make their albums pop. And so, like, you have these young Gen Zers who think, because, like, for instance, I wear bamboo earrings, but I've been wearing these since I was, like, 6.
Right.
Whereas this used to be ghetto. But now, because the Kardashians have made it more of a fashion statement, it's a fashion statement.
Right.
Or just like how braids. Couldn't wear braids. I was like, why do you have braids? Ghetto. It's unprofessional. So like my students, so sometimes, can you teach me how to do a Dutch braid? I'm like, I could teach you how to do a cornrow because that's what that's called. Right. But that's not what fashion calls it. Boxer braids, Dutch braids, anything except a cornrow. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they have turned some of the things that we see as blackness into this fashion for us, which is why you have professional black people who are like, oh, I don't act black, which is what they mean by that, which is indulge in the culture of us, which is American culture. Like, you know how you have people, I have family who are Jamaican and they don't like to say black because they're like, well, we're from Jamaica.
Right.
We're not black. That's an American thing. We don't call ourselves that, you know? So it's like, I think a lot of it sometimes too is depending on the age group. They're confused as to like those little boys that just want to be lit. They think this is just cool and trendy to just go like double chain necklacing. You know how long I've been called ghetto for wearing multiple rings, but now it's like trendy.
But what sucks about that for us is that they get to reap all the benefits of our culture, but they don't have to deal with any of the shit that come with it.
Because you can be white when you decide.
Be white when you decide to be white. You feel me?
Exactly.
They can wear bronzer and look
So
Latina, and then take that, or like it's a big thing now for girls to ask me to cut them baby hairs, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
He said, cut me some baby hair.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
But let's be clear. Our culture is the most stole from culture of all times. But let me explain why too, though. For white people who don't understand, being black is an energy that you may or may not understand. And that's why sometimes it comes off as scary to you. Sometimes it comes off as aggressive to you. This shit lit. You understand what I'm saying? As difficult as it is to be black, like it sucks to be black.
I would never not want to be.
Right. But it's lit in
you don't want to be nothing else
too.
I can imagine being shit else.
The way I naturally walk, the way I naturally move, the way people view me, it sucks that you try to put me in a box. But this shit lit.
It's a price you pay for the magic.
Exactly. And that's why it's frequently stolen.
Yes.
I'm trying to get that energy. I'm trying to pull that energy. But here in America, I also want to be white when it's ever beneficial to
me. And you don't get to.
And that's just like, I have two separate race parents. I always, from a little kid, identified more as black. So that's what I just go by. I just say I'm black. I don't ever really say what I am, because to me, none of that other shit matters. All the features that you are liking have come from black. So I just...
That water ain't pink. It's half pink.
Shut up.
Half pink.
You say muddy water.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And it's so funny you say that. That's one of the things when I was a little kid that bothered me.
What?
One of my grandparents would say, it wasn't sit down, your mama's not a glass maker. It was, I can't see through muddy water. And that bothered me so much.
From
that
white grandma?
Yeah.
I feel it though. You can't.
But my cousin, it was, your mama's not a glass maker.
Right.
Yeah, but I can't see through muddy water either.
But I'm like, why would you even think of some shit like that in my head? Because
it is what it is. I might love you, but I see your color.
Right.
Correct.
I love
Absolutely.
you, but I see you.
But I knew the ones who didn't.
And I ain't got no choice but to love you.
Yeah. You mine. You're my blood in you, but I see your color. Yeah. I know what you got going on.
I didn't like that shit. I was always a rebel. I used to literally get a whooping. My sister be like, just shut up. I'd be like, nah.
I ain't muddy.
I ain't shutting up.
I'm not shutting up about that.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So you got some. What I'm hearing is your boy say he came up on you. You was playing something in the car, and you was referencing white queens, and I really want you to give me some of it.
Listen, this song
it's probably gonna get you fired up.
It's strictly written in my head. I am drinking, so I'm not gonna sing. For real. But I give you a little sample of what I got going on.
Please.
I might mess up the words because, like I say, I just
want a taste of it, man. I don't even need you to do it right. I just need to give me a little something, man.
So I'm gonna sing for y'all, and we're gonna go back to the '60s. So just picture yourself in a raised boom boom room. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their suits on, band about to play some horns and some trumpets, and I'm coming out of my finger waves. About to sing to my white queen.
What color? Give me your outfit. Paint me a picture.
Salmon.
Yeah.
Oh.
All salmon?
All salmon.
You know nothing.
Maybe silver undershirt. Maybe silver.
What color shoes?
Burgundy. I was gonna be fly no matter what generation you put me in.
Well, you sound like
silver, salmon, and burgundy.
Well, you sound like Big Red from the Fire Heartbeat.
Yeah,
you gotta do a burgundy bow tie too. Then that's fly.
Listen, I'm telling you, silver, salmon, and burgundy. I can rock with that though.
That shit sound musty.
Yeah, I'm musty now. I got fresh off work and came in here right now. All right, so
come on, man. Let me get
fuck
some
these
of that,
words
man.
up for you, man. You can hear it?
Yes, sir. I could definitely hear it.
Oh, for my white queens, white queens. Pink water all on a nigga dig. Snow bunnies, they drip on me. Good enough to ride my face, but my soul is so separately. Oh, white devil, I can't feel your hate or your racism when your lips on me. I'm talking black on pink, still got the racks on me. I love when good and evil both collide. She don't understand my plight, I don't think her privilege right, but she got that come fuck me look in her eye. Oh, white woman. White woman, you a fool with the T.O.P. Can't deny that your fantasy is a BBC. Fucking raw and make a mixed breed. Thank God it ain't the 60s. No, snowflakes falling on the blacktop. Niggas can't play 3-on-3. No, I'm not coming over cause last time your neighbors called the cops on me. And her neighbor is her daddy and that ain't right. That ain't right. Pink water all on a nigga dig. Snow bunnies, they drip on me. Good enough to ride my face, but my soul is so separately. Oh, Caucasian devil, I can't figure hate or your racism when your lips on me. I'm talking black on pink, still got them racks on me. I love when good and evil both collide. She don't understand my plight, I don't think her privilege right, but she got that come fuck me look in her eyes. Yeah.
Oh, give me the line one more time.
Snowflakes falling on the blacktop. Niggas can't play 3-on-3. Yeah, coming to you soon. Coming to iTunes. Things they do, that's for all my interracial couples. You know what I'm saying? A little black on white. Look like a 2019 Range Rover, just Google it. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? A little black love with a little white love. Kind of look like mob tires. Not mob ties, but mob ties. You know the white walls? There's a whole lot of black with a little bit of white. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
But yeah, coming to iTunes, nigga. Let me stop this for this man. Feel like you stole my baby. Pink water. Coming soon.
Oh my God.
Dead serious, your boy, we gotta shoot that video, man. That shit gonna be classic as fuck.
Get you a lace front, bro.
Yeah, you gonna do my wig?
Yeah,
I got it.
I got you.
Huh?
Yeah.
I got you.
I have to have finger waves though. I won't like.
Finger waves
They
don't
gotta
go
look
with
hard,
that
too.
era.
No, I
They need to look like they
ones,
stiff.
too. Yeah, deep
Stiff.
finger wave.
All right.
Man.
They like swoop by right here.
And I want you to have like a mustache.
Yeah, a little mustache,
but
yes.
just in the middle.
Yeah,
little
just the
mustache.
It can't be
one.
long. It gotta be like right here.
Like the
Like a Hitler?
like the
Hitler
Three
almost.
Musketeer
Yeah, like a Hitler
ones,
almost.
right there.
Yeah, bro.
I'm
Not
been
three
fucked up all week. I just want to shoot the video. I don't want the Hitler
Nah,
all
we
week.
gotta make this
No,
shit
I'm
count.
gonna put it
That
on a
shit
little
go
lace.
back.
It'll come off.
Okay. All right, well let's do it then.
Bruh,
Are you fucking with that?
you a fucking idiot.
Yeah, man. Wrote that in the car, literally just driving, maybe 30-minute drive, just fucking around, bro.
What inspired?
It was the conversation I had with my dog about, sometimes you would.
I get that, but
Right.
what inspired snowflakes
I was
falling on
trying
the
to think of
blacktop?
things.
Niggas can't play 3-on-3.
I was trying to think
what
of
the
things.
fuck
Listen.
does that mean? Break that down, bro.
I was thinking of things that's color oriented. Like, I fucked the white girl before, and that's black on pink. You get what I'm saying? I saw the color contrast. It looked good to me. And I was trying to think of black on white and then snowflakes falling on a blacktop. And I was like, well, we'll go with that. Well, shit, niggas can't play 3-on-3 when it's snow.
It was so sad.
Niggas can't play 3-on-3.
Man, that shit felt sad, bro. It felt like the ball was flat right there.
Yeah, just when,
Like we
Snowflakes
just had to abort the game. We wanted to play real bad. We couldn't
That
play.
shit gonna be live, man. Y'all don't steal my this timestamp. Y'all don't steal my song.
Who you gonna put on the remix? Because you're gonna have to remix it.
Man, I don't know, man. If I could, I wish God rest her soul. I wish Amy Winehouse or somebody like that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That would fucked it up.
Oh, man.
But Billie Eilish would be fire too. But I mean,
Nah, but I can't put her on
They
there.
ain't gonna let
She
you play
black.
with her though.
no, they not.
Who?
They ain't gonna let you play with Billie Eilish.
Yeah, they probably won't though. She one of them.
Adele
ones.
would be some shit.
But you know
You could
she's gonna
afford
drop
Adele.
her album.
But who the soul
You see,
singing white girl right now?
Adele.
If you can get Adele and Rich Paul to just be slow dancing in the video, I know
Adele with the
white
shits.
people hate that Adele is with Rich Paul. I watched the
And
Oprah
she with
interview.
the shits.
And
She is with a black dude. Oh
She
man,
loves
yeah.
Beyonce too.
Yeah,
Oh, man,
a black dude too.
Yeah.
I find all the famous interracial couples and just had them singing it.
Yeah, man, just- yeah.
Oh, Harry with it.
Harry, her man, he ain't gonna fuck with me though.
Yeah.
That's gonna
Prince?
be too controversial. Yeah, Prince ain't gonna fuck.
Man, when I seen that man do trigger fingers in the middle of he with it.
His girl, he don't really want his girl to even be called black though. He don't. She
she
ain't really
muddy,
black.
yeah.
Yeah, she just little. You
Stop.
say she muddy.
Yeah, she muddy.
She a little muddy.
But yeah, man, absolutely.
Speaking of racism,
yeah, let's do it.
and white queens, have you seen the Colin Kaepernick documentary on Netflix?
You told me to watch it last week, and I watched the first 3 episodes of it, and to be expected, it was what I thought it would be.
But all the controversial shit aside, bro, it's dope as fuck. The show is dope as fuck. The kid that played him did a phenomenal job, bro. And the transparency of it is just like, I wouldn't think that someone would do something like that, because the people that raised you, you don't want them to be viewed in a certain light.
Right.
And the way he did this, bro, it's like he just gave it to you raw in a sense. And it's just like, and what's funny about people is that it's crazy how when like people say race baiting and shit like that, it's like, no, motherfucker, I'm just telling you what happened. And it bothers you. You feel me? White people hate to hear you talk about what they did, some shit they did.
Right.
You feel me? I'm just like, no, bro, it's just like your girl. A good example, you know, I'm the analogy king. Good analogy is this. When you done fucked around on your girl or something, right? The one thing you don't want to hear her reference is you fucking around on her.
Right.
You feel me? So when something come up that triggers that and she bring it up, you hot. Like, motherfucker, you did it. Yeah. Like, yeah, and you don't want to talk about it now because you did the shit.
Right. So
I'm just like, bro, that's how they are in a lot of cases. When we bring up something that happened and we're telling the story, they almost want you to exclude what they did from the story. When I'm like, no, it's a part of the story. You don't have to be uncomfortable about it. Yeah. I'm just telling the story. But him telling the story has made so many people uncomfortable.
Listen, you said the best analogy, and I'm gonna give it right back to you. When you said it's easy for the motherfucker who stepped on your shoe to talk about let's let it go.
Right.
So the person who did something to you, it's easy for them to be like, oh man, come on, man, we still on that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's the person who the shit was done to that, you get what I'm saying? But yeah, not to cut you off, but yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's just that's what bothers me about shit, is like when you're telling the story. And that's what we have to get past in America, is I have to be able to let you talk. And I've learned this in relationships. When I've done some shit wrong to a woman, I have to let her express herself. I have to let her get her shit off, and I have to listen, and I have to try to understand where she's coming from. You feel me? And I can't feel no type of way like that about that. And even if I do, you feel me? I gotta let you get your shit off. And then when it's my turn, you gotta let me get my shit off.
Right.
You feel me? And then we come to a place to where we kind of like the emotions will subside after a while, once you're used to allowing each other to speak without being offended.
Right.
Especially when I'm just telling you what the fuck happened.
Facts.
You feel me? So it's just like he's telling what happened, and I'm seeing like this fucking outrage on the internet about the documentary. Now, mind you, from my brain, I'm watching a documentary and I got no problem with it. I'm like, this is a great fucking documentary.
Yeah.
It's a show, but it's a documentary in a sense. I'm like, it's dope. And it's like he goes into detail about everything, and he tells you how shit made him feel. And that's another thing we got to stop doing. If someone tells you how something made them feel, you feel me? You can't come back with how it made you feel. Like, no, bitch, I'm telling you how it made me feel. Respect that. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? How it made you feel is how it made you feel, but respect how it made me feel too.
Exactly.
So that's another thing we have an issue with. And I've had an issue with that, to where I'm talking to a woman and she telling me how she feels, and I'm like, man, that shit petty. No, it's not petty to her.
Right.
It's not petty to the person that, you feel me? If
it was petty, I wouldn't be bringing the shit up.
Right. So it's just like we all have to learn, bro, how to step back and just respect what people are saying and try to see where they're coming from. And a lot of times you won't understand it or feel it because you hadn't been in that space, but respect the shit.
But you don't find it funny when people tell you to get over something, but the behavior hasn't changed? Like, if it was over, like, you mean over.
Yeah.
Everything was how it was supposed to be, you know, disclaimed by y'all, right? Yeah, cool. Maybe, okay, I can get over it. That was years ago,
but
right?
You repetitively repeat the same
But it's like
thing.
somebody who cheating on you constantly. You get what I'm saying? And they telling you get over it. Like, nigga, I could if you stop cheating on me. Like,
right.
I
you know,
try.
exactly.
Yeah. Right.
But the behavior. What's your take on it though? Because I'm about to go into a whole. This is my bag right here.
I didn't watch all of it yet, but me.
You know the gist of it though.
Right. But even the situation in itself. What's
Me
your take
growing up similar, like, not completely like he did, because I was very blessed to have my goddad who was black.
We forgot you was fucking mixed. We keep thinking you Dominican or Mexican or some shit. But go ahead.
Sad. We got a whole.
We got a whole Colin Kaepernick on this bitch.
We sorry.
Yeah.
It's cool. I mean, literally everybody thinks that, or they think I'm Indian, like from India.
Right.
I don't ever get.
You look at everything except mixed.
Yeah, that's what people say.
Yeah.
But No, like I grew up similar, like not under, I don't know, I always did kind of identify more as black, so I did grow up trying to figure out like, okay, who exactly am I? How do I feel about these situations? Do I like, am I wrong if I'm taking up for this, but knowing that my other parent is this? And one day I sat down with myself and realized that I didn't choose to be it, and what I feel is what I know, and like, honestly, you know what I'm saying, my parents knew what they were getting themselves into when they decided to do what they did. Mm-hmm. So that meant they had to deal with how I felt.
Right.
So I know that's one thing for him, like you were saying, he probably was struggling putting this out so transparent. No. When you get to that level of you have found that you are black, you don't care anymore who is like, hey, you can't say that, or that's offensive. It's like, so what?
And
So what?
And what's difficult for y'all though is I think mixed people have it the worst because you're not accepted on either side fully.
Now, one thing I can say, it's so crazy because I grew up in Truman Arms. I never had fights in Truman Arms because you was mixed.
But I don't think it had anything to do with your color because there's some white kids that grew up in Truman Arms that didn't have no fights either. It's just you're a part of their culture and you're a part of their...
Yeah, no, I'm saying I was very much accepted.
You grew up urban.
You grew up urban,
with the energy.
Yeah.
Now,
exactly.
so it was like, I was in honors, and I was accepted there too. Because now on one side, the white side, I made myself be accepted because I never shut up. I would, if something was done wrong, I was like, no, you're not gonna talk to me like that because I'm smarter than you. You like, I would always voice that. Right. But I was blessed. Like, I knew that my dad had a college education, and I knew that there were just as many white people who weren't educated. Right. So for me, nothing people said made sense because I was able to actually see educated professional black people just as much as any other race. So I didn't understand how people were just thinking we were only one type of person.
Right.
So I always spoke up. So I never had the whole... I always felt accepted by black people until I did date a person, and he wouldn't publicly date me because I was mixed. And he said his mom was black, and that was just that, and that I wasn't.
You know what sucked for Kaepernick though? That's different from most mixed people, that he was an adopted mixed person by two white people, and he was living in Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. So there was no black culture and there were no black people.
Right,
so imagine what type of alien you feel like. And your parents are oblivious to racism because they hadn't been around any black people to even be able to identify with it. They had an elevator scene on it that, like, because there's so many triggers that, like, when you watch that shit, it just makes you cringe a lot. And it's like...
Because you can relate. You can understand.
But when you think about it, though, and you look at from his parents' perspective, you like, how can they be so naive or oblivious to this? But when you think about this and the makeup of it, you can see exactly how they would because they didn't have to experience it or didn't know. You feel me? They had an elevator scene to where you hadn't made it this far yet, I'm sure. But his parents were getting on the elevator. They were at this hotel because he played baseball. Right. And his parents were getting on the elevator to go. They were going upstairs. And his parents got on the elevator first. And the dude was coming off and he held the elevator for them. And they got on. And then he came a little late. And the dude, he was like, the elevator's about to close. And he kind of hopped in. And the dude was just like, are y'all all right? And
he asking the parents.
Okay. But so Colin answered and said, yeah, we're good. And he said, I wasn't talking to you. I'm talking to them. Are y'all all right? And they were just like, yeah, we're good. So the elevator closes. And his parents was just like, somebody's in the mood today. And he was like, yeah, that man was tripping. And they was like, no, we talking about you. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You feel what I'm saying? Like how, like, it's like he was like, it's just like, bro, nobody, even when he got the braids, the Allen Iverson braids, it was like you look like a thug.
Right.
It's just like these people are so oblivious to what's racism sometimes. And that's why I say people can be racist and not even know they're being racist just because of how they grew up in their upbringing.
Where
what they were told.
Yeah, and where his talent didn't even play a role in it. My ability to be the best pitcher or the best quarterback didn't even matter.
Right.
You made a rule specifically for me.
Right.
Like he said, I played on this team years, and I never heard that rule before about hairstyles or nothing like that until a black person got a hairstyle you didn't approve of. Now it's a team rule about hair.
Right.
So, yeah, absolutely.
But go ahead. I know you got a lot to say. That's why I was getting mine in because I'm going to sit back and let you coast.
Right. Now, I'm going to ask you one question before I get into it, though. The protest in itself, minus the documentary, right? I know how you feel about the documentary. When the protest was going on, how do you feel about the protest in itself, kneeling to the flag? Do you feel like that's incorrect? Do you feel like it's disrespectful to the flag or patriotism?
I feel like he made it. It's what's crazy is you can tell people a lot of the time. That's why I say it's selective comprehension a lot of times. You can tell the people exactly why you're doing something, what you're doing it for, and telling them how you're gonna go about it. And if they don't fuck with you, they don't want to hear it anyway. You feel me? It's just like, bro, like what's funny is for years, the national anthem would play at sports events. And I see motherfuckers going to get popcorn. I see motherfuckers like with hats on. And for one, I see, and it's just like the thing about the flag is, bro, it's not supposed to be on shirts, memorabilia, none of that shit. If you go read what it's
the bylaws of the flag.
The bylaws of the flag, it's being violated. Right. You feel me? So, like motherfuckers like not paying attention. Ain't nobody. You feel me? So suddenly, it's a big deal to salute the flag now. Suddenly, when the national anthem plays, it's a big deal that you stop everything you're doing. And you pay respect. Bro, we've been disrespecting the national anthem since the beginning of time. I can't remember a time, and even when I played sports, that I actually paid attention or stopped. I didn't even know the words to the motherfucker. I wasn't paying attention for the most part. You feel me? That's why we never even realized what the shit was saying or what it meant until somebody pointed it out to us. Right. You feel what I'm saying? So for that, I just felt like no matter what he did, they were going to have a problem with it because he was pointing out, just like it was like the same thing we said. He was pointing out, hey, man, this is wrong. Like, y'all did this wrong and y'all are doing this wrong. We need this fixed. You feel me? That was the problem, is that he was pointing out something that was wrong. It wasn't a protest. It wasn't anything else. It was just the fact that a motherfucker pointing out something that you doing wrong and you don't want to change your behavior, so you make them look like the villain.
What was the attachment to them? How do you think they got to the military, though? As in when people start saying, you're disrespecting the military. You're not being a patriot. How do you think they tied those two?
Because that was the only thing they could reach for.
Well, and because of how so the flag was made based on the after the Civil War, us combining, and it's supposed to be blood, sweat, and tears, and all this stuff. So automatically they're gonna say, because this is like what people fought for in this country, which people continue to honor the flag. However, I know that is what in Colin's mind. I know he went through thinking that, just because that's the easiest way to get them to understand that it's this detrimental for him, that he feels the need to have to do this. And I don't think it was disrespectful, because he did the most respectful thing that you do to still show respect and show that you are feeling some type of way, is to kneel out, sit down, take a knee. Like when think about how many times, like, on a sport, somebody has been like, you too frustrated, like, take a seat, take a knee, so that you don't do anything reckless.
Mm-hmm. The reality of it, though, is that, bro, we America itself don't give a fuck about the troops. You feel me?
No.
That's the reality of it, bro. Yeah. We have the most homeless veterans.
Ask anybody about VA insurance.
Right. So that's my thing, bro. We live in a country where you walk by motherfuckers with homeless signs that were veterans all day long. It's like, bro, we shit on our fucking veterans every day. But when it comes to some shit like this, we want to act like we care, bro. Don't nobody give a fuck about the veterans or the military or none of that shit, bro.
I'm just saying, how do you think they got there? Right. They use that because they sound logical.
And you're right. And you're right. I'm just pointing out the fact that we want to selectively give a fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Like, bro, like we have, like our veterans get treated worse than veterans in any other country. I can almost guarantee you.
Right. I wouldn't say any, but it ain't.
But for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but they get shitted on.
Yeah.
We do know that much.
They deserve better.
They deserve way better.
Right. All right. So gather around, everybody. Y'all know I love, research and facts. I'm big factual here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm one of the ones. Like, I know I look this way and I joke all the time, but if you're gonna come to me with something, I respect all opinions, but you better be on your shit with it, right?
The internet is there, you have to be. So yeah,
right.
Makes sense.
So for all of those who don't know the history of Colin Kaepernick, where this all started from, it was because he was protesting the killing of unarmed black and brown people in this country, correct? Colin Kaepernick took a seat doing the national anthem in the preseason game. I think it was in 2016, if I'm not mistaken, right? He didn't make an announcement about it. He didn't say, y'all come do it with me. He just took a seat, didn't say nothing. Nobody noticed it for about 3 games. You understand?
Right, because that's a normal thing that some people don't participate. Right. But go ahead.
Then somebody asked him after a preseason game, hey, I noticed you were sitting. Is there any particular reason why? And then he addressed why he was sitting. Now,
which means originally he wasn't seeking attention for what he was doing.
Facts.
So go ahead.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Colin starts getting all the backlash about, hey, you're disrespecting the flag and things of this nature. A guy wrote a letter. It's a guy named Nate Boyer, okay? Wrote Colin Kaepernick a letter. Now, Nate Boyer is a Green Beret. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's
Marines?
Army, if I'm not mistaken. Gentleman received a Bronze Star. That means he did a heroic act in battle. I think he served in Afghanistan and Iraq, if I'm not mistaken, right? So this is one of the ones, right? This is a military guy. This is a guy who's a real patriot. Not like the motherfuckers wearing the hats or the flags on the boat, turning up natural light. This is a real patriot.
Right, absolutely.
Right? So he writes Colin Kaepernick a letter, and he says, hey, I'm offended by you sitting down on the National Anthem. This is why I'm offended. This is what the flag represents to me. So Colin, on his own dime, he flies this gentleman in. He said, well, let's talk about it. Now, so far, this sounds pretty American to me, right?
Right.
We got a disagreement. This has nothing to do with you. Like, this is about my people, but I'm not trying to offend you in the process, right? So come in and let's have a conversation about it.
Right.
Nate Boyer and Colin Kaepernick decide to come to an agreement. Nate Boyer said, if you don't sit down and you take a knee, that could show a representation to your cause, but that could also show respect to the flag because we knee to our fallen soldiers. So when a person actually dies on the battlefield, we knee. We also need to pray to God. We also need when we ask a woman for a hand in marriage, correct? So that's what all of that was about. Now, Nate Boyer, that's his idea. Most people didn't even know that far. That little information I gave you, just that far, most people didn't even know that, right? They got caught on the black and white thing and, this black dude disrespecting the flag. You had no idea that an Army veteran gave him the idea. They did the most American thing you could possibly do. So if you have a disagreement with the Colin Kaepernick situation, I give you 3 options, white people. You're either dumb, you can take option A. You're either ignorant, option B, or you're racist. Those are the only 3 options. You understand what I'm saying? Because we all speak good English. We all understand why he is protesting. It had nothing to do with the Patriots. He said it clearly. He took the stance, the gesture from a Marine, from a gentleman in the Army, you understand what I'm saying? To show I'm not trying to disrespect you. And all of that, you can still say he's disrespecting the flag. So I give you an opportunity here. Y'all remember the Capitol riot recently? Where they stormed the Capitol? Right. So a lot of those people who said they didn't want Colin Kaepernick to take a knee because it's disrespectful, it's unpatriotic, it's non-American, it's a disgrace. He should leave his fucking country if he don't like it. Did you hear any of that vitriol towards the Capitol?
No.
Absolutely not.
Right. So when we had the Black Lives Matter, what's something you heard in combat to Black Lives Matter? You heard any other kind of matters?
White lives matter,
All
blue
lives
lives matter, all lives matter.
Right. So you heard that from the other side, right? So when they had this group of people who stormed the Capitol. I'll let you decide what group of people that was and what color they were out there who decided to storm the Capitol. If you disagree with Colin Kaepernick, I'll ride with you. Let's say he's unpatriotic, right? Are you also okay with saying those people who stormed the Capitol are terrorists?
No.
No, for them. If Colin Kaepernick did something wrong, and that's the side that white people are taking, fine. But are they also okay with saying that group is a terrorist group?
No, they're not.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are terrorists.
Yeah.
If you don't believe me, guess what I got? I got a video for you. Let me show you what a gentleman named Michael Fanone, who is a white officer, I might add. Let me play for you what he said about the Capitol riots. Give it to him one time, Mike.
I was swarmed by a violent mob. They ripped off my bag. They grabbed and stripped me of my radio. They seized ammunition that was secured to my body. They began to beat me with their fists and with what felt like hard metal objects. At one point, I came face to face with an attacker who repeatedly lunged for me and attempted to remove my firearm.
What?
I heard chanting from some in the crowd.
What'd they say?
Get his gun and kill him with his own gun. I was electrocuted again and again and again with a taser. At the hospital, doctors told me that I had suffered a heart attack, and I was later diagnosed with a concussion, a traumatic brain injury, and post-traumatic stress disorder.
Now, wait a minute now. Now, if I take a knee against the flag that don't harm nobody, that don't make no noise or nothing, I'm a non-patriot.
And it's world news.
Right. I'm a non-patriot. I deserve to go to another country. But apparently, I can storm the Capitol and shock a police officer not once, Not twice, but 3 times, give him a heart attack and PTSD.
And try to kill him with his own gun.
And try to kill him with his own gun. But let me give you another white man. What else you got to say, other white man?
I knew I couldn't sustain much more damage and remain upright. At best, I would collapse and be a liability to my colleagues. At worst, be dragged out into the crowd and lynched.
What?
Unable to move or otherwise signal the officers behind me that I needed to fall back. I did the only thing that I could do and screamed for help. Officer
Daniel Hodges said he feared that he would be lynched. Does that sound familiar to anybody black? I don't know if white people know what lynching means. I'm just curious. Now, what white people love to do is they love to find that one black person, that Candace Owens, those Hodgkins twins, those one black people that side with them, and that's all they need for that confirmation bias, right? So they wouldn't harm a black police officer. They wouldn't do that with it because he not sagging. He not one of us. He's not. It's all fair. He represents America. He's a police officer. They wouldn't harm a black police officer, would they? Guess what I got? Another video for you. Hold on. What would you say, black officer? Where are you? Here you go.
I told them to just leave the Capitol, and in response they yelled, "No, man, this is our house. President Trump invited us here. We're here to stop the steal." I responded, "Well, I voted for Joe Biden. Does my vote not count? Am I nobody?"
What'd they say?
That prompted a torrent of racial epithets.
Let me guess what they said.
One woman in a pink MAGA shirt yelled, "You hear that, guys? This nigger voted for Joe Biden." Then the crowd, perhaps around 20 people, joined in screaming, "Boo, fucking nigger." No one had ever called me a nigger while wearing the uniform of a Capitol Police officer.
Now that's my favorite part. Let me tell you why that's my favorite part.
Because he said while wearing.
Because he thought, as long as I was in this uniform,
I'm not a nigga.
I'm not a nigga. They love me. I'm one of them because there's a lot of black people that we know that run around and feel like they're one of them. But lo and behold, this man is a black, blue, and all life. But at the end of the day, if I disagree with you, you a nigga.
Just a nigga.
Right. N-I-G-G-E aura, not R, aura. Like, are you done fucking with them white people? You understand what I'm saying? You's a, right. So for black people who don't understand why you could take a knee in this country and be criticized, right? White people act like they don't understand where you're coming from. But a white person can go in the Capitol and take a police officer's gun and shock him, and call a patriot a nigger and chant it and cheer. They'll tell you why. If you just listen close enough, they'll tell you why. Could you tell us why, white lady?
Some Trump supporters stood proud of what they did.
This is America, and we're all here to fight for our freedom. It is not their America. It is our America.
Because we're here to fight for our freedoms. This is our America, not their America.
So that proves my point to what I was saying earlier. As I say, it's never about the action, bro. It's more about what the action is for. What's behind the action. It had nothing to do with the knee. What was the knee for?
Yeah.
Right.
It was for some shit that we don't give a fuck about.
That I don't care nothing about. So I need your nigger ass to stand up. That's what I need you to do. That's right. If I'm fighting for my freedom, we can tear this motherfucker down. And think about it. They're fighting against democracy. Yeah. That's their beef.
Yeah.
Not the unarmed killing of people who look like them, murdering people. No, I'm fighting against democracy. That's America in a nutshell.
Yeah.
That is America. You're upset because the vote didn't go your way. Yeah. So now, damn the blue lives, damn the all lives. If we don't get our way, it's a problem.
And that's why I say this all the time, bro. I say, white people love rules until the rules apply to them.
Oh, man. I'm so glad you said that. Y'all got time for another video? There's a lady who stormed the Capitol named Jenna Ryan. She's from Texas. I don't know what part. I just assume Houston. My bad, Houston, if she's not from there, right? So she was one of the Capitol rioters. You get what I'm saying? She was sentenced to 6 months. I think it was 6 months, if I'm not mistaken, or 60 days. 6 months, they'll tell you. Fox News is about to tell you, right? And she had a very interesting tweet. I want you to listen to this lady who went to the Capitol and stormed that day.
Fox 4's Macy Jenkins has more on what happened in federal court today. Macy. Hi, Steve. Well, in addition to those 60 days behind bars, she will also have to pay a $500 fine. Now, in court today, the judge asked her if she felt any remorse for what she had done. She replied she needed to stop tweeting. But tonight, she tweeted her response to her sentence, saying that she's going to prison for walking into the Capitol for 2 minutes. And she also blames the media coverage of her actions for causing the judge to make an example of her.
Here she comes. Go on, tell us then, Jenna.
Frisco realtor Jenna Ryan sentenced to 60 days in jail on Thursday, roughly 3 months after pleading guilty for her part in the Capitol riot on January 6th. And 10 months after, she told Fox 4 this.
I do not feel that I did anything wrong. In fact, I felt that I did something noble, and I'm proud of being there.
According to reporters who were in the courtroom, the U.S. District Judge for the District of Columbia doubted Ryan's apology for her role in the riot, claiming that there were too many actions she took afterward that showed she has no remorse. Ryan told Fox 4 she flew on a private jet to Washington, D.C. in January.
To me, it was a protest. I didn't know people were getting killed.
She posed for several pictures in front of the Capitol and posted video of herself in the crowd, including this.
They said somebody in there is like shot in the face. I don't care. Shoot me in the face. You know what? I will freaking fight for our country.
On January 15th, Ryan was arrested while FBI agents collected evidence from her home in Carrollton. And on March 26th, she wrote this on Twitter. Definitely not going to jail. Sorry, I have blonde hair, white skin, a great job, a great future, and I'm not going to jail. Sorry to rain on your hater parade. I did nothing wrong.
So if you think these white people don't know
while using
what it's like
term
to live in America, and they try to convince you that the justice system is fair. She says, I'm definitely not going to jail because I have blonde hair, white skin, a good job, and a great future. If you listen enough, they'll tell you what's up. Now, that's just one of the ones ignorant enough to put it out there. You understand what I'm saying? There are millions of others who feel the exact same way. They just tuck it deep down inside.
I 100% feel exact. I definitely feel that way.
Right.
And I've experienced it and seen it, and it's crazy because there are people who don't see it, and when they finally do, that are like people. When I say people, I mean that are like mixed or black.
Right.
It's so eye-opening to them. Then they start questioning so many other things and like realizing where they were the pawn so many times that they didn't even pick up on it because they really genuinely believe these people are accepting them.
Correct. And what's sad and what's the saddest part of that whole shit, bro, is that she's right.
Oh no, absolutely.
She's right.
She say nothing wrong.
And that's what frustrates me with my white friends who like to debate about race and all this extra shit. Is like that's the part that they ignore and won't acknowledge. You feel what I'm saying? Like, bro, that's the shit I'm talking about right there.
Right.
You feel me? Just like the whole Kyle Rittenhouse shit, whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, the
you feel
kid,
me?
yeah.
Somebody drives you into a different state, drops you off with a fucking AR-15. You kill some people, and they drop the weapons charge. Now, mind you, I got homies who were suspected to be around the weapon.
Right.
They got 10 and 15 years. Hell, we had black on here.
Right.
Who got caught with a weapon, you feel me?
Did 10 years.
Did 10 years. A weapon he didn't fire.
Right.
You feel me? A weapon that wasn't used to kill nobody. He got 10 years, bro.
Yeah. They got out and played Grand Theft Auto, and they dropped the weapons charge.
Want to know something crazy? So I went to jail. I have charges. Got in trouble when I was like 19 years old, 20 maybe.
You look like the girl from Orange Is the New Black. Now that you said that, she do, don't her? I'm telling you do favor her though.
Man,
I had a crush on her though. You know which one I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, like the guard.
Daya.
I had the biggest crush on Daya. I almost became
Daya is actually Dominican, so that's the only reason you said that.
No, I didn't know. Yeah, listen, I had a big crush on her. I almost went to be in the CO. I'm like, that's how they getting it in there?
We could have definitely been a stunt double.
But no.
Let that nigga with that mustache get on your ass.
Porn stash.
Yeah, he did have a porn stash.
No, but I remember like it was petty stuff. It was weed. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't know that. And the person I was with said everything was there that I didn't know. The car was there, everything. I still went to jail because of a state trooper. All the COs were like, "Don't worry, you're gonna get out. You ain't gonna get these charges." I did 4 years probation. or like literally an ounce of weed.
Hell, I did 5 years probation for some weed.
And the other person took the charges and went to jail.
I've been to jail and everything. Shit, I had.
Every nigga been locked up.
Yeah,
like, at least went in there.
No, but
you seen the inside.
What I was gonna say was like the judge. I remember specifically said because the public defender was like, "Well, this is her first time. She didn't know." The judge said, "No,
right.
I'm gonna teach her a lesson." He said, "Girls like
that's what the judge said out loud.
Girls like you think that you can date guys like this and get off and don't get any type of repercussion." But you need to be learned a lesson because this is all that you're going to keep going through. So when I went and got off 4 years later, didn't never get in trouble, didn't pee dirty, nothing. Because to me it was easy, just do the rules, whatever. I was determined to get off. There was a new judge, and the new judge said I had $6,000 left to pay, and I was just like, in my head I was like, I ain't paying this shit, I don't care. So I was getting a technical violation. Right. So I go and he was like, I'm a waive it. He was like, you were in this part of a time when this judge was finna finish and he was getting convictions. And I said, well, he did say that he was teaching me a lesson. And he's like, that's not, you shouldn't have got all that for that. And it was wrong. I can't give you back your time, but I can waive this money. And in my head, I wanted to flip everything over in there because I'm like, can you take the shit off my record then so I can finish what I was doing or no? But no, of course they didn't.
Of course they ain't gonna do that. They don't like the question.
So it pisses me off so much now, like when people are like, oh, I go get my medical marijuana. And I'm like, I want to punch him in the head because I'm like, dog, I did a long time and I got turned down I couldn't get a job at one point. Yeah. Like I had to literally hustle and figure out how I was still going to make the amount of money I wanted to make in my life.
I lost my shit the first time I went into a medical dispensary. I was in Denver, Colorado for a tattoo convention, and we went into the dispensary. And when we walked in, I was just like, all right, cool. Motherfucker smoke some weed. You know what I'm saying? Legally, I can smoke my shit and no problem. And I thought she was going to be cool, but when I got inside there and we in the lobby, and I'm just watching these motherfuckers. It was like Comic-Con, brother. Yeah. Right. I'm watching these motherfuckers in suits and ties. All these same motherfuckers that have been on juries to convict people. All these same motherfuckers who were judgmental. You feel what I'm saying? Having a blast in the lobby.
Yeah, but they been smoking too.
And it right. And it just pissed me the fuck off, bro, because all I could think about is all the time I've done for weed, all the shit that fucked my life up for weed, all the people that are still in jail for weed. Yeah. And it's just like, bro, we having a conversation like this shit wasn't okay at one point. So it's just like, that's why I say white people love rules until they apply to them, bro. Right. What started happening is that when weed became profitable and beneficial for them, let's make it okay.
Right. But if you go back to the beginning of weed, like when they wanted to what I want to say, demonize it. I don't know if that's the right word. Demonize it, right? You know what I mean? I think her name was Ann Slinger or some shit like that. When she said it made white women love black. Hey, they go with my song. Listen, they said it made white women love, black men and that shit like that. Like this dumb shit like that. Anything back in the day.
Right. That's why I say y'all got to be careful with what science y'all take too, because goddamn black people, what we 1/5 of a man or some shit like that.
Absolutely.
So it's just like sometimes science is some shit a motherfucker made up to back up some shit they wanted to an agenda they wanted to push.
I told you what my favorite quote from racism back in the day.
No,
when the dude said, I forget his name now, off the top of my head because I got a lot of information in my head right now. They was interviewing him for a newspaper, right? And they was talking about black people, like slaves he owned, right? And the interviewer was like, so would you say that black people are like your pets? That man say no, because my pets have a soul.
Right.
I said, God.
So do you know what that stems from? A lot of that.
Like that's how you feel.
Did I tell you what Chris Rock said?
Nah.
When he was talking about, he said, I think this was Chris Rock. He said that he was talking to his mom about segregation and racism, and said that black people had to go to the animal hospital to get their dental work done.
Right.
And they said,
I heard that before.
And it said that white people were outraged when they found out that black people were going to the animal clinic to get their teeth done because they were using the same tools on the niggas that they was using on their pets. on their dog, and they were outraged by that.
And you think life is fair nowadays. And see, this is the thing, and this is why I went through that whole educational process, because we can sit here and we can debate feelings all day. White people, you want to feel some kind of way. Black people want to feel some kind of way. And I'm willing to sit here. I'm one of those people where I'm not cemented in anything. When the facts change, so does my opinion, right? But I just sat here with all the facts for you. How the protest started. I understand English very well. I assure you that this isn't the language from my ancestors. You taught me this language. So I understand what these words mean. When a person says, this is what my protest stands for, it is silent and it is peaceful, and that is the most American thing you could do. We all stand up for something. Women have stood up for something. Gays have stood up for something. So protests are the most American thing you could do. And when you see some white people storm the Capitol and you don't have the same vitriol, you don't feel nothing in your heart. You might not know why you don't feel nothing. You might not know why it don't bother you. But I'm telling you why it don't bother you. But Colin Kaepernick bothered you. And that everything I just told you don't is for a reason. It's because it's a black issue. That's the reason why it bothers you. Yeah. Colin Kaepernick never disrespected the military. Never. A man who served this country far more than half the white people who complaining about this shit will ever do. You get what I'm saying? A Green Beret said, hey, if you could just do this for me. Now, those are two men who disagreed. A black man, a white man who disagree, who met, had a conversation, and came to a compromise. That is America. And that's what it's supposed to be. That shit that y'all doing is because you're dumb, ignorant. Now that I've told you the facts, your opinion should change. And if it doesn't, you're racist. The end, point blank, period. I'm done with it.
And what's funny, though, is that after all black people have been through, bro, we still the most compassionate people on the planet.
What?
And on top of that, right, what's crazy is that everything could be fixed with something as simple as you listening to us and saying, damn, that's fucked up.
That's it.
That's all you gotta say. Yeah. We don't want you to change nothing. We don't want you to give us nothing. We just want you to say, damn, that's fucked up. Right. Just like when you sit with your old lady and you do something wrong and she explains her feelings to you, all you have to say is, damn, that's fucked up. Right. I apologize.
Exactly.
That's all you have to say.
That's it.
And it's just crazy that even to this point, you sit down with somebody and you explain all of the things and you give them all the evidence you give them and you give them all the videos you just played. And it's still they want to have a debate with you about it. No, that's fucked up. Exactly. Because if it was anything else other than a black issue, if it was a issue with some kids at school, or if it was some issues with like a church or whatever, you would say, damn, that's fucked up. Right. You feel me? So it's just like, bro, that's all it takes is just to own the shit. You didn't do it. You feel me? And it's just like white people hate talking about racism. Like white people will listen to this episode most of the time and you can't even listen to them with it in a room because it's like you can feel them cringing and you can feel the cringiness in the room when you listening to, like, even if you got like a black comedian on stage and he's talking about white people and you got white friends in the room, you can feel them cringing at it. Right. You can feel the tension. So it's just like you can be talking about racism and spitting nothing but facts. You feel me? And you can give them evidence of shit that they've done that back up your argument. You feel me? And they're cringy. You feel me? It's because it's like the guilty cringe. Exactly. When my girl is accusing me of some shit I did, I cringe.
Anything to get it off.
Anything to get it off. Right.
I don't want to feel it.
I don't want to feel it.
Right.
You feel me? I don't want to own it.
Exactly.
And if you don't own it, it'll never be fixed.
And be clear, we all do this as human beings. Just understand that this is our backyard.
That's why I gave that analogy both ways, because it's not just racism. It's in anything where one party is guilty and the person who got their shoe stepped on is stepping to you and saying, hey, bro, you feel me? You stepped on my shoe. I don't want you to buy me a new shoe. Yeah. Just say my bad.
Right.
Don't chump me off, bro.
Exactly. And a lot of times white people say, like, that why should we have to pay for slavery? We didn't do it. But you don't understand how much you benefit from it. There are people today who are massively wealthy, still controlling things by the rights and the laws and the things that were set up back in the day. But that's fine. We do this as humans all the time. I don't blame white people for getting up worrying about their own problems and their own struggles. That's fine. You know why? Because we all do that. Yeah. It's a kid somewhere in another country right now starving his ass off. He ain't ate all week, might not eat next week, whatever. We ain't getting up. We ain't thinking about it. We going to Wendy's, Waffle House, whatever. You get what I'm saying? We not thinking about kids in Indonesia and shit like that. We not worried. So if it's not in your If it doesn't directly affect you, I get it.
Right.
But when somebody is telling you what they're going through, like you said, it's just a certain level of compassion that you need to have.
So
Stop shoving it back down my throat.
It's the difference of, like, you know how I said people don't ever know the difference between using literally and figuratively. They don't know when, so they overly use literally.
Right.
Oh, I literally peed on myself. Like, did you, or are you figuratively speaking?
Right.
The same with sympathy and empathy. And with this new culture, everyone wants to be an empath. So they feel that they understand everything, and that's why they try to argue with you on things that are opinion-based or experience-based. So like me telling a friend, well, no, that's not what I went through. And they're like, but that can't be. And I'm like, listen, you don't have to empathize with me because you haven't walked in my shoes.
And how could you tell me?
But you
like, that's audacity.
Correct. But you could have a certain sympathy for the fact of what I went through being some shit that you can't understand.
Right. That's like
but
a woman
you know
saying,
it's wrong.
"This, oh man, labor was tough," and I be like, "It ain't that bad."
Right, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Correct.
And all we want, bro, like if you bust my ass in the race, right? And we all know that you had a head start. When you bragging about busting my ass, make sure these people know you had a head start.
Right.
Yeah.
Just make sure that's all I want.
Right.
You feel me? Like, yeah, you won, motherfucker, but let them know. Make sure you let them know that they held me at the starting line for 10 seconds and let you go first.
Right. Or if I beat your ass, don't try to say it's because, oh, she probably got a little bit of a pass.
But see, I'm cool. I don't even like the competition of it all. I just want the fact to acknowledge that it's real. There are white people who wake up and really think that this shit is all made up.
Right.
And it's like, how? When you can hear it for yourself. You can hear it.
Right.
It's going on right. So
I'm showing you how your privilege
I don't want you to turn in your privilege.
Right.
If I
wish I had your privilege.
Right. I wouldn't turn mine in either if I had
you're
it.
a damn fool if you do.
But just stop telling me I'm lying when I say it's a different story for me when I have to do something. They love it. Like I said, I used the pregnant analogy. If I told a woman, oh, pregnancy ain't that bad, man, I broke my arm this one time, you'd be like, man, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Yeah.
Yes, you broke your arm. I'm sure that hurt. Oh my God. But have you ever delivered a baby?
Right.
Nah, but I can imagine how it would be.
Right. No, you can't. Right.
Exactly. You couldn't possibly understand. And I want white people to understand, you don't know what it's like to be black, bro. Every day this shit is on you.
And on the flip side, we don't understand what it's like to be white.
At all.
No. None of us understand. But the thing about it, you're never gonna hear a black person pretend that he knows what it's like to be white.
We more likely to say something. I wish I knew what that felt like.
Right.
Shit,
you'll never get to feel it.
Right.
And let me tell you something. And last but not least, if y'all got time for another short video,
man, run it.
I want you to understand that don't ever tell a black person how to feel about the national anthem. If you were married,
that ain't ours anyway.
If you were married for 20 years, right? You loved your marriage, and you find out your husband or wife cheated on you the first 10 years, right? Then you went out. Now you just found this out. Now you went out having a good time with your friends, and you having a good time, you partying, and somebody says, hey, calm down, respect your marriage. What would you say?
Fuck my marriage.
Fuck that marriage.
For sure.
You understand what I'm saying? So for people who don't understand about the national anthem, guess what I got? I got a video to help explain it to you, right? Just a short 2 minutes. I'm bringing all this in because I don't want to be the typical black show with just black people talking about how they feel.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Because this ain't about emotion. This is about fact.
And I'm going to give all these videos to your boy and let them play it so you can watch it in real time. Last one, 2 minutes. Bear with me here. This is the national anthem.
I wanted to share something with you. Sean King, who writes for the New York Daily News and who I follow on Twitter. And if you don't follow Sean King on Twitter, do so. Sean King is brilliant. And he writes regularly for the New York Daily News. And he wrote this piece called Why I'll Never Stand Again for the Star-Spangled Banner. And I just want to share 3 paragraphs from Sean's piece about this. He says, first off, the song, he's talking about the Star-Spangled Banner. He says, first off, the song, which was originally written as a poem, didn't become our national anthem until 1931, which was 117 years after Francis Scott Key wrote it. Most of us have no true idea what in the hell we've been hearing or singing all these years. But as it turns out, Key's full poem actually has a third stanza, which few of us have ever heard. In it, he openly celebrates the murder of slaves. Yes, really. It goes like this. No refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave, and the Star-Spangled Banner in triumph doth wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. And then Sean King goes on to explain what that means. He says, while it's always been known that the song was written during American slavery and that when those words about this nation being the the land of the free didn't apply to the millions who had been held in bondage, few of us had any idea that the song itself was rooted in the celebration of slavery and the murder of Africans in America who were being hired by the British military to give them strength, not only in the War of 1812, but in the Battle of Fort McHenry in 1814. These black men were called the Corps of Colonial Marines, and they served valiantly for the British military. And Francis Scott Key despised them. He was glad to see them experience terror and death in war, to the point that he wrote a poem about it, and that poem is now our national anthem.
So, for all of you who don't understand exactly what you heard, and I'm sure there's some white people who know that story and they're going to try to defend it, but I'm here for all of that, right? So the gentleman who wrote the national anthem, in case you don't know, go do your history, go do your Googles if you don't believe me, was a real well-known racist, a slave owner who benefited. He was from Washington, D.C., frequently stood up against freeing slaves and all of that stuff, right? So there was a battle in 1812, right? Mm-hmm. Well, the British got into it with the United States. The United States said the British was trying to enforce trade laws that they didn't like, right? Mm-hmm. But the British said, nah, y'all trying to conquer our land, which the land we now know is Canada. You get what I'm saying? So they end up going to war. The problem with that is the British had another war going on about something totally different. So they short a few soldiers. You get what I'm saying? So naturally, they look at America and say, well, shit, how can I boost my army, right? I tell you what, I see some black people over there who not free. So when we go into these American towns, if we conquer them, we'll tell the black people, if you fight with us, we'll give you British territory and we'll let you be free. What black person you think wouldn't take that? So when you hear him say there's no refuge for the hurling or a slave, the hurling is the British, the slave is us. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So before you say this is anti-American, bro, we were slaves.
When it was
we didn't give a fuck who gave us freedom.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I didn't give a shit with this.
Anti-American.
Right. I don't give a shit if it was Jamaica.
Well, I take that back. Slavery is American.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Of course I'm a side with them. You mean to tell me I don't have to be hung, raped, starved? Yes, I'm gonna fight with you. And this battle was in 1812, and to show you how white people use shit to their advantage. You'll pretend like you don't understand what we was fighting for, so you okay with us dying, you put it in the national anthem, right? That same strategy is what you use to fly that fucking flag that you love so much today. It's something called the Civil War, where the North went against the South. And you know what the North said to boost my troops? Them unfree slaves down South, if you fight with us, I'll let you be free. Mm-hmm. So that fucking flag that you love so much, that shit wouldn't even fly if it wasn't for us. Do you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So don't ever tell me how to feel about the national anthem or the flag, because that wouldn't be the flag flying today if people who look like me didn't say, okay, I'll fight for my freedom with you. Mm-hmm. But you didn't want me to be free. You needed us to win the goddamn war. You did that shit for unions. Let's go back and do your fucking history. Right. You get what I'm saying?
It was never because there was any compassion or love for us. It was necessary for them. It was like one thing you're gonna learn about people, bro, is that a lot of the times you're not gonna get anything from people unless they benefit from giving you something.
Facts.
Yeah. So, and what I'm gonna do is this though, because in a lot of conversations like this, and you say white people, we're generalizing white people, and
it's not all.
And it's not all. Right. Nothing is absolute. Facts. We say that all the time. But for my people who genuinely don't feel like they are racist, right? And I think a lot of people are able to be racist because they've never gotten to see racism up close in person. Right. They've never got to see slavery up close in person. We've always got this vanilla version of what slavery was or what racism is, right? We don't understand that they use motherfucking black babies as fucking alligator bait. We don't understand that motherfuckers had contraptions around their neck.
Come on,
you feel me? So what I'm gonna challenge y'all to do, I'm gonna put this link in the podcast, right in the link of the podcast once we post it. I'm gonna put a link to and this is even mild, even though it's extreme. I'm gonna put a link to this documentary that I watched myself that I couldn't even finish the first time. So, and I tried to watch it with it like I had a group of my white friends, right? Because I do have white friends. I have a bunch of white friends. And I challenged a lot of my white friends to watch this documentary. None of them could get through it. But these are the same people that I have conversations about racism with and prejudice with that a lot of them don't feel like it's there in the light that I put it, or as extreme as I put it. But none of them can watch this documentary because it actually shows you like what the fuck happened for real. And it shows you, like, it gives you a breakdown of everything. It's called Goodbye Uncle Tom. I'm gonna put the link in the podcast. And I want to challenge black people and white people to go watch this documentary. And I want y'all to come back after you watch it. I want you to come back to the comments of this podcast and tell me if you could finish it. Because, bro, I'm strong as fuck, and I'm a realist, and I couldn't finish it the first time.
It was rough.
It's rough.
But yeah, when you learn the truth about slavery,
it's rough,
bro,
it's rough. Right. It's one. I say it all the time, bro. It's one thing for us to be in here in this podcast, and your boy tell us there was a news alert. Somebody just got killed on Fairfield in a car accident.
Right.
We'd be like, oh, that's fucked up, and we'll continue our podcast. But let's say we on the way to the podcast, and you come across that same accident, and you see the accident, and you see the body balled up in the car, and you see the carnage. You feel me? That should have stick with you for the rest of your life. So what y'all need to understand is there's a difference in hearing about slavery and hearing about what happened to black people versus seeing what happened to black people and having to feel that shit. You feel what I'm saying? So understand that there's a fucking huge difference. So I'm going to put the link down there, and I want y'all to watch that shit and tell me if you could get through it, because it gives you a breakdown on how we got here in this situation and how shit went. And for black people to even be in the position that we are in today is fucking pure resilience, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, how the fuck, like, I feel like,
youngest free nation.
I say it all the time. If white people were slaves, they'd still be slaves.
Hell yeah.
If black people were the slave owners and white people were slaves, they still be slaves.
White people are. I don't want to say this. White people are recessive, though.
No. What I'm saying. I'm saying, reverse this situation to where, like, see, the thing about it is a lot of that confidence that they have comes from winning.
Yeah, winning.
You feel me? And from being dominant and being on top. What I'm saying is that if you, from the beginning, were the oppressor and they were the oppressed, the resilience ain't the same, bro.
I'm gonna let you go. I want to respond to that, though. I'm gonna let you go ahead.
Also, I was just about to say, I think it's a lot of times too, people don't know the definition of words. Like I always say that, but you know, they don't know that racism means the systematic oppression of another race. Financially, that's why when black people say something and they're like, oh, that's racism, it's like black people can't be racist. We don't have enough people to systematically oppress an entire race. We can be prejudiced, we can be bigots, but we ain't racist. We can't hold down another race. So I think a lot of people get confused with those terms.
I like that.
And then also, like, I remember, you know, at one point in New Jersey, being mixed, I looked up everything about mixed, everything. I wanted to know everything about somebody who was both. So in New Jersey, that's how they ended up changing the law to where you were whatever your father was. Because it used to be the one drop rule. So they changed it because in New Jersey, they had this fetish of the white men was obsessed with black women there. Every person was coming out biracial, which was having to be black, to where they were scared of being overpopulated and not being the majority anymore. So they changed the rule to whatever your father is. So it just proves that they knew they couldn't be, like he said, they couldn't win if the situation turned. So they were like, wait. We got to be the mass. We can't be the minority. So we got to turn this thing around.
And I want to say this too. The version of I don't like you because you black and calling me a nigga, that version of prejudice is lame to me and it's weak. That holds no weight. Like, I don't give a fuck about that. And my thing is, I support people feeling how the fuck they want to feel. If you don't like me because I'm black, that's your fucking problem, and that's okay. My issue is what you said on the systemic side of it, to where you are someone who has control of something and you feel that type of way about me. And I feel like people should feel the way they feel, but someone in a position of power,
keep it out,
should not be in that position if they, you feel me, if they have those biases. And I will say this, I'm gonna push back on myself about what I said earlier when I said that if white people were slaves, they would still be slaves. I'm gonna take that back, because I hate when people put certain characteristics on race. You feel me? I just feel like anybody in a position to where they're being held down, that they can't breathe, will resort to whatever they need to resort to survive. So I will take that back, and I will recant that statement, because I feel like any human that's oppressed or any human that's deprived of something will do anything to gain what they're deprived of.
Right. And my pushback with it, when you look through history, and like I say, I will give white people credit. I'm not a biased person at all. Facts are facts, and it is what it is. When you look back through history, white people have disagreed amongst white people. White people have disagreed amongst who we're going to be king, what religion we're going to have amongst the land. It's all created wars. It's all created death. I'm talking millions and millions of people have died because of white-on-white disagreements. You understand what I'm saying? Throughout history. They are natural fighters. So are we. But the problem is with Black Americans, we're detached from who we are.
Yeah, we don't have.
We have no recollection of what us on top is. Right. It's a farce to us. You can say it all day long, but we've never seen it. White people have seen throughout history what it is to be a peasant and overthrow the king. We have seen what it is to not deal with this religion and then mess around and migrate and become the power in this land and that land. Us as Black, I'm only talking about African American, Black Americans, right? We don't understand. We're a lost culture. We don't have backing. Like, Africans don't identify. You say the thing about Jamaicans. They don't, hey, we're Jamaican.
Nigerians will tell you quick.
Yeah, I ain't African American. I'm Nigerian. Yeah. Right. So for us, it's like fear has been implemented in us. Mm-hmm. Sacrifice is something that we are afraid of now that you've given us a little taste of what we consider freedom or consider able to make some money and live a good life. So I can't say that white people wouldn't, because they have a long history of uprisings. Mm-hmm. We're an isolated culture, and Black people need to understand that. We love to say, go back to your roots and all that. We're rootless. Mm-hmm. No, we're the new tree. We're the new whatever. Our roots start here. This is our land. Right. Stop trying to take us back somewhere. We are detached individuals.
I want to say
this is our land. Right. So we have to learn from here, this point forward.
I want to say this too, though, right? Like when I'm glad you said culture and Black American culture, right? Because what I want people to understand is that when you go back to the beginning.
Damn, bro, I stress you out. You a boy?
No, I want to make sure I choose my words.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Nah, but when you go back to the beginning of creation, bro, what color we were, none of that shit mattered. We were all human. Right. And this is all of these.
But we were Black. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Clearly.
So yeah, the world knows.
But I feel like everything like everything dark that's light came from darkness. You feel me?
Jesus ain't white.
So every human on this planet came from a Black person. Everything started Black. And that's not saying that because I'm Black that I'm superior. What I'm telling you, motherfucker, is that everything came from Black. Yeah. You feel me? Whether you're white, Asian, or whatever, everything came from Black. We got a bucket, motherfucker, and all, just like the color where everything comes from a different color.
It was migration, climate change. Those are the things that change skin pigment.
So
but you started dark.
Started dark.
Yes.
Nothing light goes to dark. You feel me? Everything started dark, but all in all, we were fucking human. And all in all, we are all human. That's why you can take a white person and put them in Black culture and they turn out just like the Black people. Or you can put a Black person in white culture and they act just like the white people, because at the end of the day, we're all human. The only thing that separates us is our skin tone and our cultures.
Facts.
More so culture than skin tone. You feel what I'm saying?
We're creatures of habit as well.
At the same time, so that's why I can go fuck a white woman right now and have a baby. You feel me? I can't go fuck a cat and have a baby.
Little pink water.
You feel me? I can have some pink water. Mm-hmm. But that's because we're all human, bro. Right. You feel me? We all came from darkness. We all came from Black, motherfucker. It started with us. And the thing about it is, I think, like when you say that, white people get offended and say, well, why do you feel like it came from Black? Bitch, that's just fact. And if I was white, I would still feel the same way, motherfucker.
Just ask them why they think Jesus is white. Like, just give me the facts. Explain to me.
Because it makes you.
How could he be born in Jerusalem?
It's just like a football team,
and be white.
It's just like a football team. Everybody want. You feel me? Everybody want their motherfucking team to win the championship. Right. Everybody want whatever the fuck is at the top to represent them.
Jesus is Middle Eastern.
When there's a heavyweight champion, you hope he Black.
Right.
Because you Black. You hope he Mexican because you Mexican. It's Mexican pride, Black pride. When at the end of the day, bro, all of these labels were created to create separation, bro. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And we've been separating each other and putting each other in these categories, bro, when we all the fucking same thing at the end of the day. You just might have a little bit more of the beginning in you than I do in me. You feel what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, bro, we all the same shit. It's just these categories and culture is what separates us. Just like y'all say, Jamaicans don't say we black. Bitch, we Jamaican. Right. Whether you white, brown, blue, or green. You feel me?
Yeah, all the other
That's
countries,
the way it works.
only America does that.
You have white people in Africa saying, I'm African.
Just for Jamaicans and Africans and all of those alike.
You come over here, you a nigga.
I just want that to be clear.
You a nigga.
You are absolutely right. You are Jamaican. You are Nigerian. The moment you come over here, nigga, N-I-G-G, aura.
But no, this is one thing I've always had. So I purposely continue to use Ebonics as frequently as possible, especially on social media, because I feel like that's my colloquial area. And why can't I? Because white people do think people who speak patois, Creole, that's cool. It's a language. They get this. Oh, speak Jamaican. There's no such thing as speak Jamaican. You know, they have British over there, and some people speak patois, which is broken language. Right. So why can't I speak my broken language in America?
You know why you can't speak.
Which is what's up, oh? You know why I can't.
You know why you can't.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but I'm saying
yeah.
I purposely do that though because, everybody has a little bit of if you're not fully black and you are, or lighter, we have what is called a little bit of white privilege in us that maybe someone darker doesn't have.
Right. But I'm big though, so I lost mine. If I had to stay small and light, I was fine.
But you got the eyes.
Yeah, no, listen. The moment I got over 250, that's a big ass nigga.
Scared.
Yeah, listen. I walk in the door, I'm just as black as anybody else. Though. My size though, like that nigga.
But for me,
but you're right though.
I made sure to keep mine to where I do things purposely that I feel like girls who are darker than me would get more slack for doing. Like people expect me to be something else and they don't know my history, so I be real ratchet just because they don't expect it.
Listen, quick story.
You ever notice how society has suppressed the power of being black?
Yeah.
Like what you mean?
You remember when you was little, right? When you was in like middle school, right? And being black was just enough to scare any fucking body. If you had like little white kids, you was tough automatically because you was black.
Right.
You feel me? Like that was your card. You can bow your chest up a little bit. You ain't never had a goddamn fight in your life.
Right.
But it was just because you was black and made you a little more dangerous.
Now it's still scary, but MMA stopped it.
It's not the MMA. It's not even MMA. I'm gonna tell you what it is. Is that what they do is that helped too. But what even started that, even in MMA, it was still a thing to where it was like, I don't want to fight that big black dude.
Right.
But it became a thing to where you start watching television shows and you see somebody like what's your boy name who was cooning real hard, the big Terry Crews. You see somebody like Terry Crews, right? And you got this big black dangerous looking man and he pop locking and dancing.
Right. Who doesn't identify with our culture for white people.
But what I'm saying,
Terry Crews didn't hang out with a bunch of us. And
what I started noticing as I watch TV is that how watered down all the black men are. There are no real warrior looking figures on TV. Right. It's like all of the stronger characters and all the stronger. It's just like it's systematic.
Correct.
It's systemic.
Correct.
So it's like we put strong white characters in front of you. It's just like I told you even in the movie when I was watching Candyman, it was just almost like the gay couple. The white dude was just a regular white dude.
Right.
You didn't even know he was a gay dude until you seen him with the black dude, and here come the black dude flaming. You feel me? So it's just like, bro, it's like they say, block by block, bro, little bit by little bit.
Yes,
so now when you think about a black dude, bro, like if you ask a millennial or what you say, Gen Z motherfucker, like what's a black dude or describe a black dude, you might get Tyler Perry or you might get fucking, you feel me, Will Smith, or you might get somebody like that. But if you ask one of us to describe a nigga, you feel me, it's gonna be different. Yeah. You feel me? It's gonna be different.
Absolutely.
So it's just like in like this fucking entertainment and the shit we see on TV, bro, is like shapes everything.
Yeah.
And like we have a subconscious and we have a conscious. And what we do a lot of the times is we have things we're conscious of, but we don't pay attention to what we feed our subconscious and what we don't pay attention to that happens. Just like if you can play a song, like there's so many songs we all probably remember from when we were younger that we know every word to.
Oh yeah, it's songs I hate, but they played it so much, I know the words. Like, how do I know the words?
Even your parents' songs, even your parents' music, you know every word, but you don't remember learning it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's because when you were little, it was just in your subconscious.
Right. What's the song you hate? You know the words to? Like a song you despise, but like I know every word to that bit.
I don't know. What's one with you?
Hateration, Mary J. Blige. That's the worst song.
That is one. You're right.
That fucking song.
That is one.
But you can cut it on right now. I sing it word for word with Mary though. That's the dumbest song.
That is one. That is definitely one. That bitch is bumping in my head right now. I'm in the dancery right now.
What is a dancery?
I don't know.
Hateration. Hobberation. What is that? Who wrote that? I gotta see somebody notepad.
Nah. Did you see the Burger King commercial she did?
Just move on. Please. I don't. Please.
Mary J said she gonna get all the bags she can get.
I respect that bag. She should have turned that one down.
Yeah, no, you can't take the. You can't. And she was standing on the table singing about chicken, bro. I said, bro, we'll do anything for a bag. That's one thing we gotta stop doing.
That's a clip in a Big Sean song where he say our voices are worth something, but we sing for pennies. Like it's the way he say it.
I'm gonna tell you what we gotta stop doing, bro. Is once we stop making money king, bro, we'll be a lot better off. What it is, bro, we measure our worth in our culture by the dollar.
Yeah, but that's the newest thing for us, though.
Right,
we'll come out of it eventually.
Right, but we have to, bro, because we find ourselves in so many fucked up situations, moving a certain way for $1, bro, and that's what I pride myself on, bro. I could have been mega rich a bunch of different times, but it's just like, bro, I would much rather not, because I lose my peace and I lose my self-respect and I lose my dignity, and a lot of people don't feel like that's worth a lot, but that means the world to me, because at the end of the day, bro, you can put me on the island with all the money in the world, bro, but if I don't like who I am when I look in the mirror, that shit means nothing.
I always say I just want to grow up to be who I wanted to be. When I was 11 years old, I knew who I wanted to be, and that's
I'm gonna tell y'all 2 quick stories, and then we'll spend the last 30 talking about something that don't have nothing to do with racism. You sparked something when you said about darker skinned females and stuff like that, right? I used to date a light skinned girl. Y'all same skin color and everything. She was a nurse, and she used to go to all of these the white people, like, and she had this kind of voice where, you know, even though she was hood and from Jacksonville and stuff like that, she could still speak. And they thought she talked white and proper, so they just assumed she was white and proper, right? So they would invite her to like the breakfast after work. You get what I'm saying? The nurses would clock off from night shift and go to breakfast, right? So she was able to communicate with the white people and the black people, right? Because she was from Jacksonville, so she can get in her hood bag and everything, right? So she started inviting the other black females to the breakfast. And I would tell her, I said, hey, you might want to stop inviting them to that breakfast because they don't want them at that breakfast. She thought I was bullshitting. So one white girl pulled her aside and was like, hey, you know, just, we don't really like sharing them coming and all that. And she like, what you mean? I'm like, well, you're a little different than them.
That sounds like the dude said, y'all bringing these pastors into the Kyle Rittenhouse. Man, y'all bringing these black pastors in here. Like, bitch, who the fuck are you to tell me who can sit in here? And y'all trying to influence. No, bitch, like that.
The way y'all influence.
Yeah, right.
So that's one
right.
of the
We ain't complaining about white people being in here, but go ahead with your story.
Right. But that's what an example that I would try to tell her, like, listen, they might be comfortable with you because they assume that you're not like them.
Yeah.
But then when you find out, it's a rude awakening. But we talked about fast food and shit like that, right? I want to explain just briefly to black people why racism won't change, and I'll do it through fast food, right? What is Chick-fil-A known for?
Great customer service.
Great customer service, right? Everybody know Chick-fil-A, right? So their competitors might be McDonald's, Popeyes, Burger King, things of that nature, right? Are they known for great customer service?
No.
Not at all. In fact, it's terrible customer service, right?
Absolutely.
So if we all know that, no matter what city you go to, they have great customer service, right? Mm-hmm. And we all know that. You think the owners of McDonald's don't know that? You think the owners of Popeyes don't know that, right? Why isn't Chick-fil-A service just service? Because if I'm a competitor and I know my competitor has great service and that's what people go there for, wouldn't I want to compete?
Nah, go ahead.
I would want to compete. I mean, you trying to right. But why wouldn't I make an effort to compete?
You wouldn't make effort if you don't have to.
Right. But if they come in to buy this shit, even with the shitty service, I ain't changing nothing.
Why improve?
So to black people, if you wonder why LGBTQ, whatever the mother letters, get shit done is because they don't have no choice. They don't accept nothing but this type of service. They don't come fix nothing for us because we'll buy it no matter what the fucking service is.
And before y'all tried to cancel Dave Chappelle, that's what he was telling y'all.
Right.
He was saying the alphabet community felt like he was shitting on them when y'all couldn't get past the fact that he was praising y'all.
Right.
He was saying that he's jealous and he envies y'all because we should be more like you. And we say this on the podcast all the time, bro. We should demand Chick-fil-A service, and Popeyes would change their shit.
They would. But if we still lining up around the corner for chicken sandwiches while niggas in there shooting dice and listening to R&B music and Lil Baby, they not gonna change it because the chicken's still selling.
Right.
So that's why nothing changed for us. And that's why as soon as the LGBTQ or whatever community don't like something, they start canceling shit. We not buying that. We not paying that.
When
shit
last time you heard black people cancel something?
Oh, I know.
The only thing we ever canceled was Trump.
It barely canceled him.
Barely canceled him.
But I just wanted to put that point out there. But for an hour and 30 minutes in, I know we spend a lot of time on racism. We'll just be brief and make this short. Tania, I know you're a big music fan, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. How you feel about Travis Scott?
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I love music.
To hear her take.
Me too.
However, I do not frequent Travis Scott unless he's featured on something with someone else. And okay, so I've been talking about this for a week. This concert thing with him. One thing I can say in teaching, I've talked with more than 40 people before watching me. When I do, for me to be able to get in the mode of not seeing people texting or people doing this or get me out of my zone, I see faces, but I don't. I just see a crowd. I couldn't imagine being in front of 100 million people and supposedly being able to see 8, 9, 10 people passing out. Right. Now, again, also, I grew up trying to find my way in what I liked. So I like a lot of music. I used to be a big Creed fan. I was a big Blink-182 fan.
I like Creed. I like Blink-182 myself.
You know what I'm saying? I used to listen to rock music for a minute. And I did consider mosh pitting one time until I realized exactly how dangerous it was. Just banging your head back and forth like that is exerting a lot of energy.
Right.
I feel like these people who go to his concerts know that's what they're about to do. I don't understand why a 10-year-old was there. I
say the same thing. When I heard the ages of, I think it was 10 and 8 who died.
That don't make no sense to me. That's just too much for them anyway. Astro World.
How did they even get in? Ain't no age limit to them tickets?
I don't guess not. And then also, why are their parents allowing it? Because as Travis Scott, he ain't physically selling them himself. You know, he's got PR teams and marketers and reps.
Right.
Also, dystopia is what he calls it. Like, again, people don't look up words. They don't look up the information of what Travis Scott is talking about. Like, that point too, but I don't think this was no spiritual satanic, him trying to ritualistic. I think he was having a
lot of symbolism in that thing.
It is, but on the other hand, you got to understand, it's a lot of symbolism in Pensacola. I am the hugest fan of Pensacola. We are one of the most cursed cities in the United States.
But the symbolism means something in Pensacola too.
It does, right? No, it does. But what I'm saying,
it ain't a coincidence.
No,
I'm just about to get on you, y'all. I know you a spiritual Sagittarius.
The most sacred land in the world is Pensacola and New Orleans in America. That's the most sacred, okay? And there's a lot of things here that you drive on the 12th Avenue trees every day and don't realize.
The motherfucker were hanging from the light pole downtown
all down. Too. I'm really big on Pensacola. I hate when people shit on my city. We were the first. Like you said earlier, they couldn't even get this city until Esteban Lemore. They forced him to come from Morocco and beat up Geronimo and them. Right. They couldn't even capture it. It kept getting taken. So I definitely get symbolism. I just really don't think Travis Scott was thinking that deep in that shit.
I think
the money has got him.
But what you got to understand is that when you get that type of money, you get exposed to different shit, and you do understand exactly what the fuck you're doing because you have that type of money and you have that type of access to certain people. Right. What you have to understand is that a lot of it's called secret societies and all that shit for a reason. You feel me? And the symbolism is for the people who understand it, not the people who don't. Right. A lot of things are just set up like the world is like every movie you watch, right? Before the bad guy kills the good guy, What does he do?
The music plays, or
he gives him a breakdown of what he was going to do.
Him like, he tells them this build up to this point.
Right. He tells them exactly what the fuck everything was going on, because what fun is it to have a whole setup and you never know what the fuck is going on? You feel what I'm saying? So I do believe, bro, you be extremely naive to think that everything in this world stops at your level of knowledge, your level of knowing.
But I think they have started to turn Illuminati culture into a trend too, like to bring people in
I understand that, but I do feel like there's a little truth in everything.
It's just a conspiracy, like Zodiacs. Just so you know, they just see it may be a little truth to the Illuminati, like Zodiacs, but they just turn into a. But go ahead,
right.
Throw a little shot at
and then that's what happens is when you have a situation like this, a lot of people, we like to turn a blind eye to a lot of the shit that's like right in front of you,
right?
And we like to act like the person who's it, like, bro, like my thing is, just like we don't use dystopia in our everyday fucking lingo. What would make him name his shit that?
Yeah. But
and
also,
like he know what the fuck that mean.
But here's the thing though, and I'm gonna be honest though, I'm not dissing Travis Scott, fan of his music, but he ain't no brilliant nigga.
No, he's not.
He wouldn't know what the fuck that means unless somebody told him what.
But that's what I was gonna say earlier.
So it's I'm gonna tell you what happens, right? I used to shoot music. I was signed to a label before, and you'll shoot music videos, right? And a lot of the times you have creative directors come in, right? And they hear your song and they create the video and the visual behind it. You feel me? Now you might be in this video with checkerboards and all kinds of shit that's symbolism that you don't understand, but the motherfucker that put it together understands it.
Yeah.
But it's a whole different ball game when you are the person who constructs your own shit. And there's no creative director. When you see Kanye do something, that's all Ye.
That's him.
When you see Travis Scott do something, that's all him.
It is.
It is because I'm gonna tell you why. Because he's an orchestrator. He's a producer that has his own flavor, his own style.
But I'm sure there's powers that be that.
It's influenced by something, is what I'm telling you. I agree with that 1,000%. Because like you say, he's not a brilliant nigga. But the thing about it is, he may be a brilliant nigga that has sat in the room with brilliant people that explain to him, and you may be a part of a culture. Just like, bro, I practice EFI, right? I don't know everything about EFI. You feel what I'm saying? But I do have a godmother that does know a lot about EFI. So if I'm doing something that I'm going to involve the culture in, because my knowledge doesn't go that far, I will go to her and say, what should I do right here? You feel what I'm saying? But being that I'm going to her, you feel what I'm saying, and asking her something, I'm still in that culture. You feel me? And I'm still trying to push that agenda, regardless of how brilliant I am.
No, absolutely.
So my point is, he knows what the fuck he doing, even if he don't know all the way what the fuck he doing.
Part of it is, why is he wrong when they voluntarily went for this shit?
No, it's not.
I don't find him wrong.
I don't find him wrong, but
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but we know the influence.
To blame him for deaths, and I'm like, you let your 8-year-old go to a fucking huge.
And that's what I was gonna say. Is that we have a problem in our society, to where parents have gotten so lazy that anytime our kids ain't shit, we blame everything except our parenting.
Correct.
Yeah.
You feel me? We reach for the music, we reach for the TV, we reach for all, and this is all things that we exposed them to.
Right.
If you weren't a shitty parent, you wouldn't have a shitty child. That's why I say all the time. I was arguing with my cousin the other day. I said, bro, no matter how your child comes out, it's your fault. I don't give a fuck what you want to blame it on. Right. It's your fault, because whatever you're blaming it on, guess what? You exposed them to it.
Facts.
So we have to learn how to step back and say, hey, this is a shitty parent moment. You feel me? But that does not excuse the fact that somebody is taking advantage of that either. You feel me? Because some people are not old enough to make their own decisions, and they have been in shitty situations, but that doesn't give you a right as somebody that's alert and aware to take advantage of them either.
Right.
But like at the end of the day, like I can't say if it's right or wrong. All I'm saying is that Buddy know what the fuck was going on, and he really don't give a fuck at the end of the day. It's
I don't think
you can apologize and
I don't think he cares in general. When you go to a concert, I don't know if anybody's ever been to a big concert, but you have to understand, like you said, the influence of a person who can pack out that many people.
Yeah.
They talk about Lil Nas X being one of the most influential artists today, but they say he can't sell 4,000 tickets right now if you had to try to ride. But it's a difference between an artist. There's like...
But wasn't he in Houston too?
Who, Lil Nas?
Travis?
Travis? Yes, that's his hometown.
That's what I'm saying. So, they fuck with him there.
But you got to understand there's a difference between, there are a lot of artists that I listen to, but I still wouldn't go see. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Young Jesus, one artist that I like. You get what I'm saying? Lil Baby's an artist that I like. If they were in town, I still wouldn't go see them. You understand? Excuse me. I look so tacky, my headphones fell off. But if they were in town, I still wouldn't go see them. You get what I'm saying? So there is a certain level of influence that artists have that could sell 100,000 tickets or however many tickets. It was 50, 100,000. It was something colossal, right?
I mean, this man has a meal at McDonald's.
Right.
Yeah, but so he also has a cult following.
Yes, he does have a cult following.
They'll follow him to the pits of hell gladly.
There is a lot of power in that.
Thing, though,
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that's a go ahead. That's a lot of power.
He has a cult following, bro, and when you have a cult, usually when you develop a cult following, bro, you are a unique individual that has your own lane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I'm gonna take Currency has a cult following.
Yeah,
you feel me? Kanye has a cult following. Kendrick Lamar, cult following. J. Cole, cult following. Right. All of these people have people that will follow them into anything, and Travis Scott has a cult following, bro.
Absolutely.
And the thing about it is too, what y'all have to understand, what people ain't giving him credit for is that when you have a cult following and you make that type of music, bro, you have no control over how these motherfucking people function.
They say he encourages
that. He does. I've seen videos.
Storm the fence,
I've seen videos, and they're not showing all of that. You feel what I'm saying? They're not showing all of that. They excluding that evidence. That's why I say he don't give a fuck.
Right.
Because I've heard that, and I've heard the footage and seen the footage. Like, he don't give a fuck. He encourages it, just like, but he's not the only one. We just talked about a rock band that had a girl come on stage, had somebody come on stage, and the girl pissed in his face while he laying on stage, and it was celebrated.
Oh, when you look through history, there have been rock bands and concerts that have people die all the time.
That's that genre of music. It's just being made a big thing because he's considered a hip hop artist,
right?
When he's not even really a fucking hip hop artist. He has his own fucking lane. You feel me? So when you hear him collab with anybody, the song down there change when it's his turn.
Right.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's gonna go into some other shit. But I just feel like there's a lot of the times, because you know the type of music I used to make when I was younger, I had a song called Asking God for a Fade.
Yeah.
Somebody would have thought, if I made that right now, somebody would have thought I was in some kind of cult. You feel me? But that was just me as a young, ignorant child.
I still think you're in a cult, but that's just
saying whatever the fuck I wanted to say.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so what I'm saying is sometimes motherfuckers can watch a cult and not actually be a part of it, and just be mimicking what they see, just like you see fake gangsters mimic real gangsters. You feel what I'm saying? And it comes across that they're gangster rappers when they just mimicking what they really see, and they have no knowledge of what the fuck really goes on in gangster rap. You have artists in rock, Travis Scott, guys like that make music that may seem like it's pandering to some Illuminati shit or some fucking satanic shit when you're just mimicking what you see somebody else profiting off of.
Right.
So it's just like, for me, but I just feel like he's at a level to where he has too much money, too much influence, and too much exposure to be one of those people who bullshitting.
Yeah,
he ain't capping.
When you realize how much influence you have, you will have to be foolish. I'm not going to say the Illuminati is real or not real. I'm not up in that echelon to know.
Right.
But I do know that they're influential people and powers that be, and if you have a certain amount of control, you don't just let shit happen. None of us who can control something will ever let anything just happen.
Correct.
If we could control it.
Correct.
So there are people with the finances and the say-so to control everything. They're up there like that. So when you see a person like Travis Scott with that much influence, or Kanye West, or anybody with that much influence, if you can step in and control something, and you have something to say that I can shut this down, control this, there are people who do it. We talked about the checkerboard. It's just common sense. When there's smoke, there's fire. Do I know what it means? No.
Right.
But you'll be a fool to think, like, why is
somebody,
that everywhere on
Somebody
that
did
shit?
it
like,
on purpose.
Right. The Meek Mill bus, we're like, why is that on there? For no, it had nothing to do with nothing.
Right.
The pizza situation with the Jerry Epsteins, why is that everywhere?
Right.
What is that? You get so where there's smoke, there's fire. There is some meaning to it. It's beyond our pay grade.
Right, exactly. That's why I say it don't even make no sense to talk about it, because you don't like.
I can't imagine being around that many people still too.
And I'll be referencing Jay-Z when I be like, you got to be in a certain tax bracket to understand what Jay-Z talking about.
Right.
You got to be on a certain stage to understand. Like, that shit is for people who understand it.
Fact.
It's not for us.
Yeah. When Pink Water go platinum, I'll let y'all know.
It's going platinum.
Yeah.
It's going platinum 100%. And what I was gonna say was damn, what I was finna say.
My bad.
No, what I was finna say is that a lot of times people have to understand, though, that the price that these guys have to pay for their rituals or the shit that they do is usually worth getting their point across. Like paying these families and doing all this extra shit.
Oh, yeah.
It's minor compared to what he benefited from this. Like this man, like
this makes him bigger, whether you know it or not.
Bigger.
Oh yeah.
Like the world knows who this man is.
Right.
So it's just like bro, you can become a bigger devil or you can become a bigger God, but all that matters is that you're bigger.
So do you think it's any truth to the fentanyl story? The police said somebody was going around jabbing people in the neck.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You know why I believe that? Because I have a client who goes to a lot of festivals, and she just say, like, when you're at those festivals, people are just like, hey, take this. Like, they just come to your face. Like, so I can see somebody being like, man, this person ain't even lit enough, and I'm lit. Boop, right? Like, people do shit like that. It's
I believe and jumping around like that, bro, you can get poked or stabbed and hit one thing and not even notice.
Be like, ow.
Yeah. And understand, people, that there is no such thing as bad press. So when y'all think Travis Scott around here depressed, Travis Scott is on a high right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say it might not be a high, but he understand why I had to do this.
Right. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So he winning. He's winning while losing.
Some of the pictures and videos I seen, I felt like he was like looking like, do I stop this shit or am I allowed to stop
He reminded me of a
shit,
motherfucker that's like instigating the fight. It was like a motherfucker that's instigating the fight and then somebody get hurt for real and you like, oh shit.
The one that was holding
and now they got the video of you instigating.
Yeah. But I seen artists, like you say, when you an artist, like when you do shows, you're trained that the show must go on. You've seen artists fall. You've seen people pass
hair was in
out.
the fan. She kept singing.
Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying. So you gotta. Yeah, nobody died.
8 people, we gotta stop this shit.
Yeah. It's lit. Like no,
the one video that confused me was the girl on stage with him saying, "Hey, there's people over." Yeah. That's the
but
one.
He probably couldn't hear that. Like if I'm jamming and I got something in my ear and I'm like, I can't hear you. What? Right. Yeah, like,
and that ain't that's above my pay grade to stop that. You feel me? Like motherfucker, that's what we got. People don't understand. Like, bro, we got people working this concert for that. We got paramedics. We got everybody on deck.
It's just my job to get through these songs. I'm probably high as fuck.
But I think when people think like, because you know music from being in it. Mm-hmm. On the other side of it, you really think like the artist can give you your money back or give you or stop a show. You know, like how they thought the president actually did things. They don't know it's Congress and House Representatives.
People need to understand first off with music. The artists don't give a fuck about the repercussions of the music most of the time. A motherfucker will tell you to go rob a bank and kill a family, and if you do it, he ain't got nothing to do with that.
It was just
your dumb ass went out there and did that a little bit. We didn't. Yeah. So that's how they feel, and that's why I say poor parenting. You ain't got shit to do with no hip hop artists. Yes, music is influential. Yes, music fucks with the culture. But guess what? Your parenting should be better, and your parenting should override that if you do a good enough job. It's not even really like if you don't expose your children to the shit, you don't have to fucking fight against it. So it's just like control what the fuck. Like my youngest son don't know no fucking rap music, and I'm grateful for that. And by the time he gets exposed to it and he goes out in the world and hears it, he'll already have his own mind to where it can't influence him as much.
Right.
Our problem is, the most annoying shit in the world is, for me, bro, is like watching somebody on Instagram with some wild ass music playing and it's a 3-year-old in the back seat singing along with it.
That bothers me too.
Man, it makes me fucking cringe.
And when you see him know it word for word and you film it like it's cool,
and you wonder why why he got learning issues or why he fucking fighting or he fucking shooting up a school. It's because, bro, y'all got to understand that kids are sponges like a motherfucker. Like you can take a 2-year-old and put him in a Spanish speaking household, bro.
And he'll learn
Spanish. In 2 years, you can go in a Spanish speaking household as an adult and still won't know no fucking Spanish. Right. It's because you're not that receptive. Yeah. These kids take in everything from birth, motherfucker. Yeah. Like you feel me?
And he don't have a learning issue. You just taught his computer some bullshit.
You taught his computer some bullshit.
So now you got me in school. This shit boring. I know NBA YoungBoy lyrics. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear about no science.
And now
math.
you want to spank the motherfucker because he ain't paying attention and he don't want to listen. Right. When it's your fucking fault.
Facts.
It's always your fault. At some stage, bro, it's always the parents' fault. Mm-hmm. Always. Agreed. I ain't even no fucking, except like, and that motherfucker love to say, well, the pastor daughter be out here fucking the suck. Yeah, it's his fault because guess what? The pastor trying to mentor and teach every goddamn body except his own motherfucking children. You forgot about your own. You feel me? So like, bro, take care of your fucking children. Me having children on my own, and all the mistakes I made, I can tell you it's always your fucking fault. When I look at my oldest son and I look at flaws in him and things that are wrong with him, I look back into myself, I look in the mirror and I see those same things wrong with me, and I can point back to exactly where it happened and why it happened.
Yes.
You feel what I'm saying? And everything right about him, I can point back the same way. So it's just like, bro, it's always our fault. Stop being fucking lazy. Stop allowing everything to influence your children and then blaming your children for being influenced by the things that you exposed them to.
Agreed.
But you know, Bones, that's a talent or something to have. People don't know how to hold themselves
Stop fucking if you don't know how to hold yourself accountable.
But
put a rub on. Stop fucking. That's our problem with our culture today, bro.
They
Is
ain't gonna do that shit.
Our issue, our problem.
Segue.
Yeah, our problem is this, bro. Is that we fucking young. We making babies before we know any fucking thing. My son is gonna have a child before he even fucking have knowledge of how to raise somebody or teach somebody something. Yeah. And he gonna teach that child all the fuck shit he know. You feel me? And that child's gonna teach all his children all the fuck shit they know, and we a culture of fuck shit because of that. Right. So it's like we gotta stop being light on each other. We gotta stop excusing each other for the bullshit, and we gotta stop being easy. If you fat, bitch, tell your friend to go to the gym.
That's true.
Quit telling them they good how they are. You not. You gonna die. You need to work out. You need to be in shape. Right. You need to teach your fucking children better. We gotta say that to each other, and people gotta stop being fucking offended. I'm gonna, as my friend, that's why I don't really have a lot of friends, because I'm gonna say the shit that need to be said, and you're gonna be mad at me, and you're gonna think I'm being a dick. But bro, do the same thing to me. I'm gonna be receptive of that, and you have to be the same way. Right. We gotta stop being light on each other. Stop taking it easy on each other. Stop fucking making excuses for each other. We suck as parents. That's why we suck as adults. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's our fucking culture, bro. And we got to flip this shit because it's getting worse by the fucking second.
And it's going to continue to get worse, Bone. You at 1,000% right. All I want to say is, and this is my closing point, and I'm good for the podcast. I like this episode. Great segue. I just wanted to let people know that you are in this life by yourself.
100%.
You don't have friends. You don't have parents. You don't have family. You are here by your fucking self. Everything people do is for a selfish reason and purpose. I'll tell you this shit that happened to me, and I'm growing up in front of my face. Little things help me grow up. Like you know what I'm saying? I don't have a mentor. I watch Bone. Bone son just had his 18th birthday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was dope.
And bought his son a Benz. That grew me up. Yeah. Because I got time before my daughter turned 18, and I want to be able to say I did something similar. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So it's amazing that little things at this stage can grow me up. I was talking to somebody about something very important to me. I won't say who, won't say what it was. Very important to me. The most important thing in my life, right? And in the middle of that story, that person began to tell me a story. And they told me about when they was growing up and what God told them to do. God told them to do, right? Man, when I was going through this, God told me that this was okay and that was okay and blah, 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 whatever. But as I was, and I listened, patiently listened to their story, even though I had heard the story before, but I still listened again because that's how a conversation goes. I talk, you talk, cool, right? When I go to respond and I'm letting that person know, like, yeah, that's cool. I understand. I respect your story. But listen, let me tell you, I need you to do this for me. I wasn't asking them to do something. I was asking them to not do something. You see the difference?
Right.
It's the difference if I'm asking you to go out your way to do something, right? But if I'm asking you not to do something, that's a totally different thing. If I say, hey, go to the store for me, like, you're like, damn, that's out my way. But if I say, hey, don't bring me up when you go around this person.
Right, just don't talk about me.
Something that simple, right? Mm-hmm. And that person was telling me, oh, yeah, I think you take it too far. And I was like, well, hold on, wait a minute. How can you say I'm taking this too far? This affects me. This is the most important thing in my life, and this affects me. If you don't believe it, let me tell you another time that something happened that you did that affected me on the back end, right? Like if you got a brother, Bone, and your brother say, pull up to my job, and I sell food, and I'm giving him free, and he want free food, and I say, Bone, I tell your brother, I can't give you free food. That's going to get me fired. And then you call me about it, and I say, well, Bone, I can't give him free food. That's going to get me fired. You say, hey, bro, you tripping. And I was like, well, nigga, the last job I had when I gave you free food, I got fired.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So it's one of those situations. But in the middle of that story, I realized that person had cut their headphones on in the middle of my conversation. They had just told me about what God told them to do. Mm-hmm. But when I got to the part of the story that they didn't want to hear, they cut their headphones on me. And I wasn't upset. I just realized something in that moment, that I'm here by myself, dog. If you don't believe people are selfish,
that's if you have kids. That is if you have family.
Listen,
you by yourself.
Stop telling yourself. Go ahead. Stop telling yourself you're a good human because you do shit for your kids. You're selfish. I do things for my kid because it makes me feel good. We just had a pandemic. Well, we didn't know where the world was going. People were still fucking making kids. We got a food shortage going on right now. People still fucking. Bringing kids into this world. You fucking because it makes you feel good. Why would you bring a kid into this world knowing racism? We just sit here and talk about it. Knowing the food shortage, knowing inflation and everything. Wouldn't you wait for a more responsible time to bring? We don't give a fuck. We here by ourselves. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's just it's not a hard pill for me to swallow. It's an amazing pill for me to swallow. I wasn't hurt. I was a little disappointed because of who it was. But I thank God for that situation. I realize these things are just titles that we give each other. Friend, brother, family. Mm-hmm. We just give titles. And what happens is we begin to think of people how we assume the title is more so than the person. Like some people think officer, soldier. Doctor. So we think doctor. But that person got a whole personality before they were so-and-so. Yeah. You could be a racist doctor. You could be a selfish soldier. You could be a racist police officer, but you just think title. You think mother, that must be good. Father, that must be good. You could have bipolar, father. Mm-hmm. Schizophrenic, mother. You get what I'm saying? So it was just something that I learned and I wanted to share because it was refreshing, but I was more sad by me like, wow, I just realized after all these years, it's just me. And that's why, and in that whole little breakdown, what you've done was explain exactly why commitment to another human being is hard for me. Okay. It's because I understand that in this world, bro, I am by myself, whether I have a wife, whether I have a girlfriend, whether I just learned on my son's 18th birthday that it was that shit, giving my son that car and watching him turn 18 was like breaking up with somebody you've been in a relationship with for 18 years. Right. In that moment when I gave him that car, he hopped in it and he spun around the parking lot and all his friends congratulated him. All I could think about was, that's it. It's just me now. It's just me. It's over. Yeah. It's over. I can't control him. I can't tell him what to do. I can't discipline him. I can't do anything. Yeah. And I remember telling my homie Sean, I said, because he was father of the year. Never missed nothing, always around. And I say, bro, in the midst of this, I tell my homie Brian the same thing. In the midst of you being a great father, bro, don't forget about yourself. Man. Because those children are going to grow up and they're going to have their own lives and they're going to leave you. And you can't be angry about that because that's the cycle. Yeah. And when they leave you, you are going to be so broken and so empty because that whole time you forgot about yourself. When at the end of the day, bro, your life has to be, you have to be selfish so you can be selfless. You feel me? I gotta find this video because you ain't gonna believe me, but I literally, people ask me sometimes, how did you lose 100 pounds in a year? How did you? And I said, one day I woke up and was like, yeah, I'm a mom, but I can't even be a full good mom to them kids unless I'm selfish for myself. 100%. Right. Secure your own air before you help anybody else on the plane. And I literally started being like, okay, I want my kids to live self-sufficient too. I want them to understand that, yes, I'm your mom, but if I pass away alone. If you pass away, you pass away alone. Yeah. Either I leave you or you leave me. Right. But know that I loved you this whole time. Because then I feel like my kids' emotions are so in tune that they understand that. They really understand it. But what I have to find this video because you say you don't believe in Zodiac, but no, I don't believe in Zodiacs. But you're right from the standpoint of such some Scorpio shit. Your kids don't owe you shit. They don't, and you don't owe them shit. You brung them here selfishly, your fault, right? You supposed to do shit to help them along their way, and they don't deserve you shit in return because they didn't ask to be here. Yep. Right. But the thing you said, bro, was so brilliant because that is exactly what I got from that. When this person did this to me, you understand what I'm saying? Because of who this person was, everything I have been through in life made sense. If this person could do this, man, I understand how that girl walked away from me and left me fucked up. Right. Yeah. I understand how that person treated me. I understand how that friend stabbed me in the back. I understand how that person took $4,000 then told me they didn't have time for me. If this person can do this, I get. Well, I can't even be mad at everybody else for. I get it. It was my fault.
And that's
for thinking that this was how the world was.
And the worst feeling in the world, bro, is to sacrifice everything, not knowing that you're by yourself. Sacrifice everything for another person, thinking that y'all are a team. Right. And when it's time to be a team, they're being for them, and you left on your own, and you're on your deathbed, and you're by your fucking self.
This is why selfish people get farther. This is why people, you don't understand, like, oh, that person's a bad person, but they hear.
That's
and
a
they
smart person.
No,
right.
And it's because we take words that we think seem negative. Like somebody was saying to me the other day a word that I was like, you're saying that as if it's bad because you don't know the definition of the word. Like, who says it's wrong to be selfish and better to be selfless?
Listen,
it's
man,
not.
No,
I'm grateful, bro. I'm grateful if a motherfucker make sure they straight first and just leave me a little bit. I'm grateful for that because that is a blessing. That is a blessing.
Right.
Even if you ain't thinking about me and you left me some, I appreciate it.
Facts.
You feel me? Like, get you, because I'm going to get me, bro. That's the way this world is supposed to work. That's how it works in the wild. A motherfucker ain't hunting thinking about nobody but they self.
Exactly.
You feel me? And if it's some left and y'all can eat off of it and y'all want to give me credit for it, that's cool.
Right.
But at the end of the day, motherfucker, I gotta look out for me first, or I can't look out for nobody any fucking way. I can't leave you leave you shit if I ain't catch shit.
Correct. Yeah.
And I learned that this late in stage in my life, and that it saddened me in that moment because I'm like, wow, it took me this long to learn this shit. And the key is to be selfish. Not to fuck over anyone.
Right.
Those are two different things.
100%.
So don't confuse the difference.
I'm glad you
the
cleared
type
that
of
up.
nigga that's backstabbing to get ahead and fucking over people, two different things. You could take care of yourself and not kick somebody else down.
Right.
Two different
Right. Because being selfish is basically focusing on your own well-being without the concern of anyone else. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because if you focus on your well-being without the concern of anyone else, and I focus on my well-being without the concern of anybody else, guess what? We both good. If I take care of my kids and focus on my children, and you take care of your kids and focus on your children, guess what? The village is in good standing. But the issue is that I'm worried about your kids, you worry about my kids, and nobody's kids are being taken care of because we worry about the wrong shit. And that's each other's problems. Focus and fix your problems, and then I don't have to help you.
Right.
Then you don't have to worry about me being selfish because you were selfish. You straight. We all straight. Yep. So yeah, like you say, bro, that doesn't mean shit on anybody. That doesn't mean stop any, and that goes right back to the racism conversation. Black people aren't asking white people for anything other than to leave me the fuck alone and let me prosper.
Right.
Stop getting in the way every time I get some fucking traction or I gain some leverage. You feel me? Stop acting like that's an attack on you because I'm doing well.
Right.
You feel me? That's all we're asking for. That's what racism is. A system designed to stop me from prospering so you can get ahead.
Right.
You feel me?
Facts.
Run your fucking race and let me run mine.
Cool. Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly. And this applies to every title. Your boyfriend don't owe you shit. Your husband don't owe you shit. Your wife don't owe you shit.
Don't nobody
These
owe
are
you
fucking
shit.
titles that we making the fuck up. You don't got no right to tell nobody what to do with their fucking body or what they want to do with their fucking career. You don't, brother, you by yourself.
Yeah.
You sacrifice for a motherfucker all you want to, you will be left disappointed.
Yep.
You listen to somebody all you want to about what to do with your life, you will be left disappointed every fucking time. So sure, we understand that we good people and there are systems that we live by. Don't fuck over nobody. We got friends and relatives, and that's all well and fine. But you better think about yourself first, or you'll find out later in life like me. Hey man, I'm
Listen,
good.
man.
You can close this
Listen,
motherfucker
man.
out.
We at 2 hours, and I want y'all to say, I say this respectfully and humbly. This is the dopest fucking podcast on the planet.
Facts.
Anxiety issues. I am Boneface. One half of Anxiety Issues, the other half Adam Taylor, and our guest Tania.
Tania.
Yeah, and we out this bitch.
Bet.